Hello,
Howdy.
and welcome to Once More, a podcast where two best pals rewatch, re-examine, and review our favorite movies, shows, and series. I'm Jen Katz.
And I'm Ryan. Something. And I'm Ryan. Hi.
Hi.
How are you, Jenny?
I'm unwell.
Why?
I cannot believe we're at the end of season 2 of Buffy.
We're here.
mean, who'd have thought when we released our very first episode in January of 2024, covering Welcome to the Hellmouth and the Harvest, we'd already be here. Not even a year later, we've finished 2 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
a little shocking.
very.
Yeah. So how many episodes do we have out total?
Well, we've got at least 22.
Yeah,
Don't ask me to math.
21. How many were in episode?
Season 1 had 12.
12, okay.
Yeah.
So we're cranking them out.
We're cranking them out. Yeah.
With our unhinged episodes.
With our unhinged episodes. Hey, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Proud of us.
I'm proud of us.
It's been amazing.
This has been a really fun journey.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for doing this with me.
Thanks for doing this with me too. And thank you all for listening and watching and being a part of this community.
Thanks for doing this with us.
Yes.
Keep tuning in. Re-listen to old episodes.
Yeah, because we will be taking a little bit of a break from Once More when we finish this episode. You know, got some trips, got some things planned. You know, we might come back looking a little different. We'll see.
See what happens.
We shall see. But what we can promise is that we are not summoning a demon who's going to suck us all into a hell dimension. Or at least I can promise that.
Yes.
Can you?
Well,
you looked a little shifty when I brought that up.
It's spooky season. You never know.
It is. So, okay, Ryan. I mean, we're going to do 2 episodes in one. So let's jump right in.
Let's get right to it. Today, we'll be discussing the 21st and 22nd episode of the 2nd season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Becoming, Part 1 and Part 2. Both of these were written and directed by Joss Whedon. Becoming Part 1 premiered on May 12th, 1998, and Part 2 premiered on May 19th. So a week apart.
A week apart?
Yeah.
Oh, they should have just dropped this up once. And that's, you know, us living in the streaming era where it's like all at once.
Hey.
Listen.
I take umbrage.
Let's hear it.
With folks that don't drop the whole season now.
I'm okay with it. Like House of the Dragon, that was part of the fun.
I want it all. I want it all.
Yeah. Okay, so according to Google, the synopsis for Becoming Part 1 is as follows. While Angel attempts to unearth a demon who will annihilate the planet, Buffy reluctantly decides to destroy her former lover. Meanwhile,
who doesn't?
If I had a nickel. Meanwhile, Willow unlocks a secret. And the synopsis for Part 2 is Angel and Drusilla torture their captive Giles. Meanwhile, Buffy attempts to stop the mouth of hell from opening up and swallowing the earth. Also, if I had a nickel. Let's get into the episode. So we start off Becoming Part 1 with a little bit of a previously on Buffy where they go over Angel's curse, which when he killed that Romani girl,
that's right,
her clan cursed him with a soul, so he would have to suffer with the weight of all the awful things he has done.
Yeah. So we get all of the background about Angel that we know thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We are reminded that Jenny figured out the restoration spell. She put it on a floppy disk.
Did we really need to see her murder?
No, we
again,
didn't. We didn't.
In this, like, previously on.
No, I hate them for that. They gave us the full thing. They did.
They gave us the full Monty.
They did, and I didn't need it.
No, we did not need it. I was re-traumatized just watching the previously on.
Jennifer Calendar, we miss you.
May your memory be a blessing.
Amen.
Okay.
So then we get a flashback. We start the episode with a flashback.
We get a cold open like we did a couple of episodes ago where it was very film noir voiceover.
Yes.
Although this is not Angel's voice.
We don't know. Yeah, who is this? He's got a bit of like a Brooklyn-y New York accent.
It's very Sam Spade.
Very that, yeah. We're getting an accent. We're in Ireland.
1753.
1753.
There you go.
In Ireland.
You got it better than I do.
I kind of do a good. That's Scottish.
And we have a young Angel.
We do.
Who is? Is that what he's known as?
He was born as Liam.
Okay, so we have a young Liam. Shout out to Oasis. We have a young Liam.
And after all, Angel's gonna fall.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Liam comes stumbling out of a pub.
A pub with
what
his
it looks to
buddy.
be with his buddy. And I love it because we get the music of our people. There's this wonderful Irish jig being played in the pub. Everyone's having a great time.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed. We are
fair-skinned.
Very fair-skinned.
Yes.
My mother's maiden name is very Irish. Your family's very Irish.
Scotch-Irish, yes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So good for us.
Yay, go us.
Okay.
So they stumble out of the pub.
Yeah.
And I can't recall exactly what the two men say to one another.
It seems they've been kicked out because they don't have any money. So Angel tells his buddy, we can go steal me dad's silver.
Ooh, careful. Jean Valjean.
No spoiler, but we will see Angel's dad at some point, and he's a piece of work. So anywho, Angel's buddy passes out, and Angel's like, okay, you rest. And he's stumbling. I mean, Angel's basically a drunk.
Yeah, he's drunk, stumbling out of a pub. And standing off in the distance in the moonlight with a little fog around her is this beautiful woman.
And she looks a little familiar.
In a dress.
Yeah,
I'm sure who this is. Blonde. Yeah, smoking. And he's like, oh, let me go see what's happening over here.
Yeah, and guess who it is?
Who is it?
It's Darla. Julie Benz is back as Darla.
Is it really Darla? I didn't even recognize her out of like Vamp Darla. Like,
that's who she's Angel's maker.
Oh my gosh, she looks beautiful.
Julie Benz is stunning here.
I was like, hey, this hot lady Vamp. This hot lady is a Vamp.
I love that you didn't realize that. So I have to say, Darla looks stunning. The wig, they've got this big coiffure. Like she looks
10
out of 10. Angel's wig,
not so hot.
All the budget went to Darla's wig. Angel's, they put a fucking like, I don't know if that's like a dead animal on his head, but it ain't right.
I mean, I wondered if they were just like in, the New World, like in Boston or something at the time, because he's got kind of this Paul Revere like hair thing going on. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. He's got the little breeches
with the white stockings. He does look very Revolutionary War.
It's the set's terrible, but you get the idea. This is 1753.
Yes.
She looks great.
She looks great.
She looks, I immediately thought she looks like she knew Lestat
de Lioncourt. Yeah. Lestat de Lioncourt. Yeah. She's giving the drama like Lestat would. Dressed to the nines. She's got her beautiful dress. And Angel's got his frilly shirt and he's got the sideburns. He's like, oh, what's a lady like you doing in an alley like this? And she's just playing it so cool.
Oh, yeah. Very suave.
Yeah. And basically talks about how she could, show him the world and it's dangerous and it's exciting. And he says, show me. She vamps out and bites him.
Yes, but she's very gentle.
She is very gentle with him.
It's not like a typical vamp. Like she just like slowly sinks her teeth into his neck. He's into it. And then he drops to his knees and he drinks of her.
She slices herself on her bosom.
Right about here.
Her décolletage.
He kneels down and partakes.
And we see this is the moment Angel is turned.
It's hot.
It's not hot.
I'm here for it.
I just am so distracted by his bad wig. So we go to the graveyard and present day Angel is watching Buffy fight some vamps. And I love seeing Buffy in sensible fighting gear. She's got track pants on, a sneaker, her hair's up, which is such a contrast from the end of the episode where she chooses to go to her fight with Angel in that coat.
It's a leather restricting coat.
Is it leather? I thought it was like some brocade linen-y looking. I don't know what. It's a heavy fabric.
It's heavy.
Yeah. And he's watching Buffy fight. Xander's there. Buffy and Xander kind of talking about.
Yeah. We don't know that Xander's there until after she's kind of had a little kerfluffle with the vamp.
Oh, that's right. She dispatches them.
Yes. She, I guess, kind of hid him behind a gravestone. He'd been roughed around a little bit.
Yeah, he'd been hurt. And she's like, oh, God, 5 vamps. One of them says 5 vamps in 3 nights. No Angel, though.
Aha, but Angel is watching from the shadows.
Me thinks to myself, where's Buffy's vamp senses?
Again, they don't exist with him.
Weird.
Funny.
And we hear they're talking about, I don't remember if Buffy and Xander are talking about school or not, but she says, hey, look on the bright side. It'll all be over soon. And Angel says, yes, it will, my love. Dun, dun, dun. Credits. Okay. So this next scene, when we watched together, we were like, okay, where are we?
Okay. Listen.
Sunnydale History Museum, Natural History. Is that where we're at?
The camera just shows like this air compressor that you can tell is gently blowing on what looks to be some sort of like an ancient relic of some sort.
Big rock.
And there's like a brush going on. So I'm like, archaeological dig or site. Immediately, my first thought, do not touch this. Stop. Whatever you're doing, please stop. It's like this lady is cleaning something. It is clearly damned.
Clearly.
Do not touch it. And we cut to what looks to be, I guess, the inside of a museum. So we're clearly in some sort of like a lab.
It's like an office. It's a weird set.
I can't really tell where we are just yet. And we see two people, a lady who's cleaning the relic, and then we see another person who is Doug Perrin. I guess Perrin is how he introduces himself when Giles walks in the door. He's
like the curator, I guess.
We don't know exactly what his role is.
No.
But this is Jack McGee, who is a well-known character actor with a CV a mile long.
Yeah, that's what you told me. I don't recognize this person, but
okay.
Is this the guy with the 400 credits? Or?
This dude has a lot, as well as another actor that we're going to see in part 2.
Yes.
So Jack McGee, just so you know what he's been in. This dude has done more in Hollywood than most people have. Starting in 87, there were some minor roles, but he was in St. Elsewhere, Beauty and the Beast, the TV series, Night Court, Scrooge with Bill Murray, where he plays one of the guys who's hammering. He's like, will you please hold the goddamn hammer? Perfect Strangers, love that. Lethal Weapon 2 and 3, Roseanne, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, the movie, Twin Peaks, Backdraft, MacGyver, Basic Instinct, and many more to his credit.
All right, Jack McGee. He is a working actor.
He is a working actor in Hollywood. Good. This dude has been so much, and he's just the side character in Buffy.
I love it.
Buffy has so many great cameo appearances by people who are regular actors in multiple series and films, as well as people who go on to be A-list celebrities.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, I love this show.
You're doing so much. You're getting these roles. It's steady work.
Yeah.
And you get to experience so many different forms of media and so many different stories. And
I think it's really cool. I love to see, it's like a couple episodes ago when we did I Only Have Eyes for You.
Yeah.
The actors playing the custodian and the teacher. Like,
absolutely.
I love it. It's good. Love a working actor.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
here we go.
So he meets Giles and he says, oh, well, when I talked to the Museum of Natural Science in DC, they said, oh, well, you have an expert right here in your town.
Obscure articles.
The foremost expert in obscure articles. And it's right here in Sunnydale. And it's Giles.
It's
Giles? Rupert Giles.
But isn't he supposed to be undercover?
I'm
confused. I love this show, but this hit me this time. I was like, but wait.
Yeah, he's the best on obscure relics. And I'm like,
isn't he supposed to be undercover? Like he's just a run-of-the-mill librarian who used to work at the British Museum, so maybe not. But
point of order, you're right.
Point of order.
What's going on here?
And so we see they're studying this big block of stone
that they dug up on the outskirts of town.
Great. Never a good thing.
Great.
Never a good thing, folks. Yeah. If you dig anything up in Sunnydale, leave it alone. Just leave it the fuck alone. Wait, your last museum foray was a mummy who came back to life and was sucking the life out of people.
This whole town has weird stuff underground.
What are we doing?
If you find something, maybe just leave it. Don't touch it. No toca la cosa. Just let it go. But no. They have a budget where they can dig this up, put it in some sort of a lab facility.
Sure.
Start studying it because there's a staff dedicated to it. So there's a budget dedicated to that. They have sent off a portion of this to have it carbon dated because
it looks so old.
Who doesn't have a budget just to carbon date?
Sure.
That they dig up out in the outskirts of town at a construction site.
And they let Rupert Giles scrape a sample and he's like, hey, something's inside of it. Don't open it till I can translate the text. And the guy's like, oh, you don't want to be surprised? And Giles is like, generally no, as a rule.
Oh yeah, I can see that you can open it. He's, you can tell the guy's looking like maybe he's just going to open it. Why is this artifact in the hands of nincompoops? Because it's Sunnydale. Anyway, thank God for Giles.
Thank God. So we go to the cafeteria now and we see
the expert
Xander Harris reenacting a fight with Buffy and a vampire with fish sticks.
Listen, okay.
What do you got?
There has been a lot of terrible traumatic events that have happened at this high school.
Yeah.
And there have been, since season 1, a lot of terrible and traumatic events that this young man has been witness to. I think that we are seeing in this moment the mental effect that all of these traumatic events have had on this young man. He is literally recreating a fight scene with fish sticks that are stabbing one another with toothpicks in a very aggressive manner. And I just wonder,
I'm sick. I need help.
We've been saying it all season, folks.
When are these children, these
therapy?
teenagers, going to get help for all of the trauma that they have witnessed? Because it's starting to play out in their relationships. And here he is sitting in the cafeteria having this fight with his fish sticks.
Well, unfortunately, as we know, the parents of these children
What's wrong?
don't believe in therapy, probably.
The school district, the principal won't even acknowledge that there's a problem.
They tried last season with therapy and that didn't work. Remember when Cordelia was like talking about, I'm not trying to make Dr. Gregory's death about me.
but
as
she does.
And hey, but exciting news on the Scooby front.
Oh.
Breaking news.
Guess who's back?
Back again. Oh, yeah. Oz is back. Tell a friend. Oz is back. Oz is back. Oz is back. Ow! Yeah.
Cool.
He's back. And nobody's batting an eye where no one's like, hey, where you been?
Yeah, how was the tour?
How's Devin?
Yeah.
Nah.
Have you transitioned anymore on the full moon?
Yeah, how's being a werewolf?
Yeah, how's that going for you?
And no one's like, hey, should we try to harness the werewolf powers for good? Maybe he could like help us fight demons. Could be a thought, just a thought.
I bet Willow's thinking about harnessing the werewolf powers. All right. Okay.
Wow.
Hey.
And so Willow asks the big question that everyone keeps asking Buffy.
Which is?
Are you ready to fight Angel? And Buffy even says, I'm really tired of everybody asking me that. I'm ready. Yeah. And I believe her. I think Buffy in her heart of hearts believes she can take out Angel.
I think she thinks that if she thinks about it too much, she's going to overthink it. And so
probably true. She's like, y'all leave me alone.
Right. She just wants to get it over with.
Yeah. And, they're all kind of joking with each other. It's a sweet moment. Xander starts like tickle. He's like, they're joking about Willow being a teacher and failing in the real world.
But they're being really flirty with one another, which is, not how they've typically been in public.
Yeah. He's like,
so
I will speak the language of love. And he starts like tickling her and she's like, don't touch me, you have fish hands. But she really is like,
right. But touch me.
But touch me.
Usually she'd be like, ew.
Yeah.
No. Save it for when we're alone.
But the moment's interrupted.
The moment is interrupted by Principal Schneider, who comes
this
up.
Motherfucker.
And he's less worried about the flirty going on between Cordelia and Xander, and more so that Willow is sitting in Oz's lap.
So funny. He's like, are we having a chair shortage?
Yeah. He's like, I'm not okay with these public displays of affection.
Yeah. He's like, this isn't an orgy, people. This is a place of learning.
So great. And Buffy's like, well, technically it's a cafeteria. And he's like, I'm just looking for a reason to expel you.
Yeah.
He's just so mean to her.
He's so mean. Snyder, again, we love Armin Shimmerman who plays Snyder, but Snyder, the character, is such a little
covetous old sinner.
Dweeb. Like, he was somebody who probably just is miserable his whole life.
Well, she says that to him later in part 2.
I know.
She's like, you know what? What's your fucking deal? No one ever danced with you.
Fucking problem. Yes, she does.
And that's it.
It's one of my favorite scenes. And then Willow's like, hey, finals are coming up. Buffy, let's hit the books. Let's study together. And she's like, I don't know if I can. I have to patrol.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you going to come over and study tonight? And I think Willow's also just like wanting to hang out with her friend.
Yeah. Maybe not in a traumatic way.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
We have another flashback. Here we go. London.
Now we're in London.
1860.
So we went from 1793 to 1860. So we're moving ahead. And
here we go.
We're in a church. And there's a young English maiden who is quickly making her way to the confessional booth in the church.
She's got her little head covering white. She looks very pure, very innocent.
She steps in, and at the same time, we hear a little kerfluffle happening in the priest box
on the confessional
next door in the confessional booth. And I immediately thought, I'm having flashbacks to Interview with the Vampire when Lestat
commits priesticide.
In the church while Louis is in the confessional.
I love that scene, and it's fresh on my mind because my husband and I just watched it a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Louis it's very similar. He's beside himself. He's like, help me.
Confessing that he's done all of these things.
Yeah.
He's got these weird feelings, and she's confessing that she's had these visions and they're coming true. And she thinks that she's damned. And Angel well, I guess he's Angel now. He's no longer Liam.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, sounds like you are like you're evil and you need to lean into it. And she's like, wait, what?
What?
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You know what I think we need to lean into?
Oh.
A little black box theater.
You know what? This would be a perfect moment.
Shall we? On today's edition of Vampire Black Box Theater, the role of Angelus will be played by Ryan something. And the role of Drusilla will be played by me, Jen Katz. Scene.
As she steps in through a curtain, an arm jets out of the adjacent one where the priest waits, and muffled noises and struggling can be heard. The arm gets pulled back in as quickly as it appeared. Cut to inside the confessional booth. Drusilla sits down and pulls the scarf from her head.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
In the next booth, Angelus is caught by surprise and drops the dead priest.
It's been 2 days since my last confession. Father?
That's not very long.
Oh, Father, I'm so afraid.
The Lord is very forgiving. Tell me your sins.
I've been seeing again, Father. Yesterday, the men were going to work in the mine, and I had a terrible fright. My stomach all tied up, and I saw this horrible crash. My mummy said to keep my peace. It didn't mean nothing, but this morning, they had to cave in. 2 men died.
Go on.
Me mum says I'm cursed. My seeing things is an affront to the Lord. That only he's supposed to see anything before it happens. But I don't mean to, Father. I swear. I try to be pure in his sight. I don't want to be an evil thing.
Oh, hush, child. The Lord has a plan for all creatures, even a devil child like you.
A devil?
Yes. You're a spawn of Satan. All the Hail Marys in the world aren't going to help you. The Lord will use you and smite you down. He's like that.
Well, what can I do?
Fulfill his plan, child. Be evil. Just give in.
No, I want to be good.
We all do at first. The world doesn't work that way.
Father, I beg you, please. Please help me.
Very well. 10 Our Fathers and an act of contrition. Does that sound good?
Yes. Yes, Father. Thank you.
The pleasure was mine. And my child?
Yes?
God is watching you.
Scene.
Nice. Well
Woo.
done.
You too.
I love your little Drusilla voice.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, quick reminder: we learned that Angel slow tortured Drusilla into madness.
Not just her,
but we see that before
family.
And killed everybody.
Right.
Yeah. Drusilla, we see that she was having visions before she was turned.
Okay. Good to know, because I've always wondered.
Yeah.
Why she's so cray-cray.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Cool.
I mean, we've talked about it in the spoiler zone.
She's clairvoyant.
She's clairvoyant. I can say it now. There are there's a lot of fan theorizing that Drusilla was a potential, which means she was somebody who could have been a slayer. There are people that exist in this universe who are just potentials. They never actually become the slayer, but they could be. And so maybe that's part of where Drusilla's clairvoyance came from.
Interesting.
And so on top of her being driven to insanity and just turning a potential ramps that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
cool.
We cut to Vamp Mansion and present day Drusilla.
1998 Drusilla.
With my beloved Spike.
I love it. We have Drusilla coming down the stairs again in the Garden of Evil is what we're calling it.
Garden of Evil, love it.
Vamp Mansion.
Yeah.
And we have Spike, who's back in his wheelchair. And if you remember at the end of the last episode, Spike had pulled one over on Angel and Drusilla by not telling anyone that he's actually healed and capable of walking again.
He's playing some kind of long game.
Something's up. What's he got under his sleeve?
Let's see. I'd like to see. And he says, he asked Drusilla if she had a nice walk, and I like her response. She's like, I met an old man. I didn't like him. He got stuck in my teeth.
That was cute.
Yeah. Angelus walks in, smacks Spike upside the head. He's just get there.
Yeah.
Spike has had it.
He's
officially.
had it. Spike is about done.
Yeah. And Drusilla says, she's had a vision. Yeah. The moon spoke to her. There's something at the museum. And she's like being very specific.
Right. So now that's when we know, going back to earlier, that this artifact is at the Sunnydale Museum.
Yes.
Okay.
Where in Pata was, I guess, the mummy girl.
I guess.
Mummy girl.
Okay, yeah. So
they hope they've beefed up their security. Actually, we know they haven't.
They have not. We're going to find out very shortly.
Oh, Lord. I do like this moment because
so great.
Angel's like, do you see all that in your head? And Spike's like, no, she read it in the morning paper, and like shoves the paper over it.
Love that Spike is just like kind of
he's
the straight guy in this relationship, and I don't mean it in that way. I just mean like he is reading the paper and then like he's getting the news.
He's getting his
news. He's keeping up with what's going on in Sunnydale.
He's an informed vampire.
He is. He's a smart vampire.
He's very smart.
And I love we're gonna see in part 2.
Oh yeah,
where he really kind of trolls the rest of the vampires. He's
so
just
great.
Like, we all like to make these like threats about the end of the world.
But we like the world. Yeah.
He's reading the paper, just kind of enjoying his day.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, if the world ends, our food supply ends.
Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So great. So we go back to school, and Buffy is struggling. It's Buffy and Willow studying, getting ready for finals. I love this scene. Buffy's like, she's having a hard time. And Willow says, or I think she calls herself stupid. And Willow says, you're not stupid. You've just had a lot on your mind.
I can totally relate to Buffy in this moment.
I can too, because we're talking about chemistry.
We're having to so many times I'd have a study buddy, and I would be the Buffy in this situation where I would spend so much time being uncomfortable having to force myself to study that I just completely missed the whole point of studying.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Buffy's hair sticks. Like the clear plastic. I love it.
This hairstyle, because a lot of times when her hair is a little funky like that, you're like, don't like her hair.
I don't like it when she had the more layers and they were like teasing parts of it and that was getting twisty. I like her hair.
I like this hair on Buffy.
I like
she's
this
like
hair.
Casual, kind of like just threw it up.
I love it.
I love this. Yeah, she looks great.
And Buffy's pencil rolls off of her book.
Well, I do like before their pencil rolls off.
Yes. Thank you.
There's a moment where Allison Hannigan playing Willow says, she's trying to help Buffy. She's like, hey, just it's okay. We can do this. She said, but if you don't want my help, don't waste my time. And good for her. Yeah. Willow didn't always used to be that way.
No, she didn't. And I love Buffy's response too. She's like, wow, Willow, you're going to make a great teacher.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, I love that Willow's found her voice.
Me
She's
too.
Thrown down her boundaries. And, she's just being respectful of herself and expecting other people to match that.
There you go.
I'm here for it.
Love it. And so then Buffy's got her pencil on her book and it rolls off.
It does. And it lands in between the desk and I guess the projector. I can't recall what it was, but
2 pieces of furniture.
It's exactly where the hard disk fell.
It's not a floppy disk.
Jenny Calendar.
Uh-huh.
Who dropped the hard disk? Was it her? It rolled off the desk.
It was in the kerfuffle before she died.
Before she died. Okay. Yeah. So we know that it's been there.
It's been there.
And they make kind of a anyway, go ahead. We know that it's been there.
So, Buffy gets her pencil and we're like, grab the disc. And she doesn't the first time. She puts it back.
And then
rolls off again.
She's like, wait, hold on. I'm having deja vu.
Yeah.
Something about the pencil between the desk.
Yeah.
So she knocks it off and she leans back down and she finds the hard disk.
She does.
Huh.
And they, pop it into the computer because Willow's like, oh, this isn't mine. Must be Miss Calendar's. And they see the spell to restore a soul. They've got it. They did it, Joe.
They did it.
Okay. Here we go. So
I wonder what else was on that disc.
Images of her.
Old Giles and Ginny.
I was going to say naked mud dancing at Burning Man.
Yeah, her Burning Man photos.
Her Burning Man album.
Yeah.
So the next scene is kind of like a camera in the woods. It's like somebody's running through the woods.
Yeah.
And we see...
This is the Rumani Woods.
The Romanian woods, yeah.
Romanian Woods, RU, 1898.
Yes. We're seeing this thing running through the woods. We also see a young girl that's on like a funeral bier covered. There's like artifacts around her. There's candles being lit, and an older lady's
maybe
chanting.
Romani people.
Yes. Yeah. Old lady's chanting. Something is afoot.
Yeah.
And we see Angel come bursting through, and he's like, "What's happening?" And one of the men in this group says, "It hurts." Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, we see this is when Angel has been cursed. He's killed that young girl, the Romani girl. And this Romani man tells Angel, "Yeah, we've restored your soul. So you would have to remember and suffer through all of the kills and the bad deeds you've done."
Yeah.
And Angel, you can just see on his face, he's starting to feel. And David Boreanaz, while we were giving him some business about his Irish accent, he does a good job in this episode with his acting. It's not his fault the wig is bad. Wig is bad. But I like it. I like this little scene. Do you have thoughts?
Not about the scene.
Okay. So we go to the library where Willow and Buffy are telling Giles that they found the disc. And Giles is kind of taken aback. It's like, what? It's probably a confusing feeling of emotions. It's something that was Jenny's.
Yeah.
This is something they didn't even think was possible. It changes the game.
It's one of those items that, you run across something of a loved one who's passed, and it's, kind of for a moment, you kind of wonder, what should I do with this?
What should I do with this? Yeah.
It kind of brings back that feeling of grief.
Yeah. And Willow says that she can do the ritual. She researching.
Volunteers tribute.
Yeah. She's been doing some research. She's been practicing, going through Jenny's things. And she's like, "I'm confident I can do this."
Yeah. And Giles warns her. He says, "Hey, to do something like this, a lot of energy is going to have to pass through you. It's going to take a lot of strength.
It's heavy magic.
Are you up for it?" And she's like, "Hey, who else is going to do it?" And then we have old dumbass Xander chime in.
He says, "Wait a second." He's like, "Why are we doing this?" And Giles says, "Well, it was Jenny's last wish." And Xander says, "Well, she's dead." She's like, "What are you guys fucking talking about? This guy has killed. He will kill again." And he tells Buffy, he's like, "You want to forget all about Miss Calendar's murder so you can get your boyfriend back."
Yeah. Hey, listen. Now, that may have been taking it a bit too far.
Yeah.
But what he's trying to point out is not wrong.
It's not wrong.
It's not. And
Angel
I don't always
killed
agree
somebody.
with him. But
killed lots of people.
In this instance, he's not coming at it from a stance where he always has been, which is his adverse reaction to Angel has always been a bit about his own ego.
And his feelings for Buffy.
And just being center of attention in this group. But this is logical.
It is.
He is a terrible demon who has murdered a lot of people since the 1700s.
Yeah.
And just because you had a good relationship with him when he had his soul back doesn't mean that he's a good person, which we're going to find out later.
Right.
That there was an ulterior motive to all of that. I'm with him on this.
I have to say, I am too, because look, they don't know enough about, this could happen again.
It could. They are not immortal.
No.
Angelus is.
And if Angelus has another moment of perfect happiness, does he become evil again?
What
there's
else
so
could
many
he do?
variables. And so I have to say, I don't want to commend Joss Whedon on a whole lot of things, but this is a great dilemma to put to these characters, because Buffy chimes in with, what happened to Angel wasn't his fault. And true, it wasn't.
It looked like he was pretty going willingly in the 1700s.
Well, I think she means him losing his soul. But yeah,
sure,
it's a tangled knot to unravel, and I will say Cordelia in the scene.
This is it. You nailed it.
Thank you. Red sweater.
Slay.
Oh, girl.
And skirt combo.
Yes.
She has a tartan red skirt pleated with the red sweater.
Looks so good on her.
It's beautiful red cashmere.
Her hair is great. Just No notes.
Stunning. Stole the scene.
She did. And I did like the part where she's like, Xander has a point. And he's like, could you for once just support me? And now as I'm saying this, I realize you are, and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we go back to the museum.
We immediately see Doug at the museum at night.
Not a good sign.
Before anything happens, my note. Oh no, Doug, this cannot be good. And it's not.
Dear reader, it's not.
It's not, because comes through the door, crashing through the door is Drusilla, some
Vamp minions,
and Angel.
Drusilla bites Doug. Like vamps out, bites him.
Bites Doug, and Angel's just so sinister. He's like, Drusilla, save some for me.
And then
it's great.
Cut to Buffy's room. She's on the phone with Willow, which we both love this scene.
I do.
They're talking about, she's like, well, Xander's being, and she gets cut off, I guess, by Willow. And she goes, Willow Rosenberg.
Where did you learn that word?
Like,
you kiss your mother with that?
So funny.
And Willow, and listen, rightfully so.
Come on.
I love this Willow.
I do too.
Where she has this confidence. She's calling out Xander for being what he is.
Yep.
We don't get to hear it.
I wish we did.
I think I know what word she used.
What do you think?
For Buffy to react in that sort of way, I think it has to be the CUNT word.
Oh, he's being a cunt?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I don't know if I could see Will. I was gonna say he's being a
she knows that word.
Fucking asshole.
She knows those words.
Mm-hmm.
For Buffy to be like, Willow, where'd you learn that word?
True.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in the middle of her conversation, Buffy's digging through her stuff, getting weapons, and she finds the Clotter ring. Oh, the Clotter ring from her birthday gift from Angel. Yeah. Okay. And then she goes to the park.
Sorry, my cynicism's like all over my face.
It is. And the Clotter ring thing is not my favorite either.
It's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I get it.
It is very of the time.
Live your life.
Yeah.
One of the yuck eating ones.
Claudium.
Wow. Okay.
Haha. Okay. So Buffy goes to the park and she's in a hooded jacket.
She is.
And she gets scared, but it's not a vamp.
Mm-mm.
Kendra's back, guys. Kendra, the vampire slayer, is back. And Buffy decides to mock her accent yet again in a baffling choice, and I hate it.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically she's like, let me guess, you're here because your watcher said some evil is afoot. Kendra says, yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, again.
Sam Zabuto. Shout out to Sam.
Reminder. Yep. There is a second Slayer.
Technically, Kendra is the Slayer. And she is in the Slayer line.
In her mind, she is.
Technically, if you're going by the Slayer order of succession, Kendra is the current Slayer. Because Buffy died, Kendra was called. I'm just saying.
There are two The Slayers right now.
So there are two girls in all the world.
There are.
Yeah. Now we go to Vamp Mansion again. And I love Vamp Mansion. Listen.
I need to put this on the geolocation list. I have not.
Where is it in Sunnydale? Mansion. It looks like it's in the Hollywood Hills.
It's a nice little area.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the Garden of Evil. They've got some this looks very, what's the style? Help me out. Not Art Deco?
Winery.
Okay. Sure. We get another little snarky zinger from Spike because they've brought the big rock from the museum to the Vamp Mansion. And Spike says, it's a big rock. I can't wait to tell my friends. They don't have a rock this big.
It's so great.
So funny.
I love how he's just kind of dry with humor about all of this.
Yeah. And Angel breaks it down for us. We learn that this rock is basically it covers the demon Acathla.
Oh.
And he says, Acathla, the demon, came forth to swallow the world. It was killed by a virtuous knight who pierced the demon's heart before it could draw breath to perform the act. Acathla turned to stone, as some demons do. Okay, that's interesting to know.
Some demons do. Yeah. Okay.
And was buried where neither man nor demon would want to look, on the outskirts of Sunnydale. So, yeah, they buried this world-sucking demon outside of Sunnydale. Okay. I'm just saying.
There's a lot happening in this geolocation in this area.
Sure is.
And then we see this demon.
Do we see Acathla right now?
I think so.
It's like a little statue. Yeah. Looks kind of like a devil.
It looks like the little troll dolls that used to have the hair. It's almost comical.
It is. The Acathla is not my favorite thing about this episode. I will say that. Or these two episodes.
About this thing.
I'm not scared of Acathla.
Looks like a gargoyle.
He does. Sorry. We go to the library. where Giles basically confirms everything. He's figured out it's Acathla. They learn that Doug, may your memory be a blessing, was killed. And we get some more demon lore. What?
This is such a funny scene because Giles has just about had it.
He is. He
They're
and
like,
Spike are
happened?
over
He's
here.
Like,
over
a bunch
it.
of vampires broke into the museum and took off with the artifact.
Yeah.
And he's just fed up.
He's fed up. He's had it.
I'm with him.
Take this job and shove it.
Do something about these vamps in this damn town.
If you have the budge to send a sample off to be carbon dated, you can hire some actual security.
You've already had one instance at your museum months ago. Come on, people.
Now Doug is dead.
You know that there's something that happened at the zoo. You know there's something that's happened at the port. You know there's
shit happens at the school all the time. The bronze.
Hire some security.
Come on, people.
If you can find any.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
So yeah, we get some demon lore from Giles. Basically, that the demon universe is a separate dimension from their universe.
Yeah.
And if Acathla is awakened, he will suck everyone into hell. You know, it's basically an awful place of suffering that we wouldn't wish on anybody.
Yeah. He opens his mouth, a vortex comes through, and all of the world is sucked into another dimension.
Yeah. Another dimension. Another dimension. You know what I also wouldn't wish upon anybody?
What?
Willow Rosenberg's outfit.
Yeah.
It's fucking Little House on the Prairie. I don't understand. Who did Allison Hannigan piss off to get put in this outfit? It's terrible. It doesn't fit her.
Her outfits are consistently inconsistent.
They are. I agree. And Willow then asks Buffy, she's like, hey, I want you to do the spell. So the decision has been made. She's going to restore Angel's soul.
Okay.
Then Kendra,
Buffy asks Willow.
Yes.
Okay.
And Kendra pulls out a sword that can basically stop Acathla. And they're getting ready.
Kendra is team kill Angel.
Kendra is team kill Angel. And you know what? Like we said, we don't hate it.
Okay.
And
the argument to bringing Angel back is that only he would be powerful enough to potentially help fight off this demon.
Right.
And that they could use all the help that they can get right now. And so it's like,
where's Oz?
It's kind of a toss up here. They're like,
it is
it worth bringing him back or is it not? And that's kind of the question. Taking out Buffy's feelings, the question is, if we bring him back, can he be helpful? And they're like, well, we should just err on the side of caution, which is
that he would be helpful.
That he would be.
But then you got Xander and Kendra that are like, we're not even going to mess with it.
That's right. But there's more to the story.
But wait.
There's more.
So Willow says she needs an orb of Thessala. And guess who has one?
I remember.
What's going on? Giles says he does. And he's been using it as
a paperweight. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Wow.
Hey, we love it when a joke comes back.
Old Ginny went shopping for this orb.
Yeah.
For the two of them to use.
For her to restore Angel's soul, and he broke it.
Restore Angel's soul, and he broke it. But yes.
I do love just the throwback to that moment where the magic shop guy.
Shopkeeper is saying, oh, most people nowadays just use it as a paperweight.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, here we go.
Love to see it.
Yeah, we had to explain that joke.
We'll just see which one works better.
You go for it.
Back to Vamp Mansion. And Angel, they're getting ready to perform the ritual to unleash Acathla. What is it? Hold on. Before we get to the what is Angel's? I always ask myself this when I watch this episode. He's now pure annihilation, right?
Yeah.
He's not trying to get Buffy. He's just trying to take care of everybody. Like, we're just going to kill the world. And I don't understand it. And I love that next episode we get that from Spike. He's like, I don't want the world to end. There goes our food supply. Angel's a fucking wanker. I don't know what he calls him, but
yeah,
it's he's Angel. He's just trying to kill everybody.
So once you get to a certain level of like vampire power, you're just consumed with ending the world. But you know, Spike is asking all the right questions, which is why?
But why? So yeah, they have to perform this ritual. Seems like there's some steps.
This is some fucking eyes wide shut shit right here.
Telling you what.
Okay, so we have Spike and Drusilla who are flanking Angel.
And Acathla.
Who is shirtless.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, or maybe the guy.
The guy is shirtless, yeah.
Anyway, they bring forth some sort of a sacrifice for him, which is like extra number one who probably got paid $50.
If even
on
1998
his
probably gave him
knees,
20.
on his knees,
Shirtless.
before Angelus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening here, but after we get done,
And his hands are tied.
His hands are tied behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
Hot, hot, hot. And there is a moment after casting this spell and saying the enchanted words that Angel grabs him by the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's not erotic.
It's hot, 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 hot.
Yeah.
Casting this spell for sure. I'm in.
Yep. And
then it kind of is over because he kills the guy.
We hardly knew you, extra number one. So we now have another flashback. Manhattan, 1996. Louis Dupont du Lac. Angel is chasing rats in an alley.
It's chasing rats.
So yeah, Angel in this alley is looking disheveled.
He's looking pretty bad.
He's looking bad. He's
chasing rats.
Chasing rats.
What is this?
And then we just get this guy this guy just waltzes into the alley wearing a pork pie hat, fedora. I'm not a hat person. I don't know what this hat is. And he's giving us a little bit of the Master season 1, like, yeah, Angel.
He's giving us Willie the Rat.
He is giving us Willie the Rat. It's like dialed back a bit.
I thought it was.
It's very similar. And he tells him he's Angel. And he knows he's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, come with me. I got to show you something. We got to go now.
You'll notice that the voice of this character is also the voice that we heard. That the voice of this character is also the voice that we heard at the cold open.
Yes, the random voiceover that we were like, what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know who this character... Well, now we know who the voiceover was. It's this character who has appeared out of the shadows.
Yes.
To Lestat in the alley.
You mean Angelus?
I'm sorry. To Angelus in the alley.
Yeah.
It's basically like, hey, this is not a life. Let's go.
This is not a life. I've got something more for you. And, he orders a hot dog. Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay. He orders a hot dog and Angel's like,
I can take you away from all of this. It's going to cost you a hot dog, buddy. In the back alley. Okay. What's happening?
Gotta go.
Once more contains adult themes.
Ding. So Angel asks, like, who are you? And he says, nobody ever understands me. That's my curse.
I don't understand him.
I guess he's cursed with no one being able to understand him. I don't know if that's real or if he's just saying that like as nobody ever understands me. I don't know. But we know he says his name is Whistler and he's a demon, but he's not a bad demon. So now we're getting some more demon lore. There's good demons and there's bad demons. I don't know. Or that's
just his take that he's not a bad.
No, he says he's a demon technically, but not all demons are bad. Yeah. I can give you some background off mic about him.
Okay, cool. That's one person's word, and this is the first I'm hearing about a good demon.
Well, as we learned from Interview with the Vampire, memory is a monster.
Memory is a monster.
So Whistler takes Angel to Los Angeles in front of Henry High School to see a 15-year-old Buffy. And there's an Angel sitting in this blacked out Impala. It's so weird.
It's so strange.
And he sees Buffy and Buffy's got long hair. She's dressed a little bit more girly. And I say that in air quotes. Like they're trying to make her look, younger, 15.
She looks like from Scooby-Doo.
Daphne.
She looks like Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Totally. She's got the pink jacket on, the long hair. She's got the bob socks. And
she's got little daffodil daisy clips in her hair.
Yeah. And she's got a lollipop, which I pointed out to you seems to be a theme that these showrunners use to show youth and innocence in a character, which is a little problematic for me.
I agree.
Every single time they're always using this little lollipop.
I don't like it.
Like this Lolita thing.
It gives me the ick.
It gives me the ick
Yeah.
every single time.
I don't like it. And she's chit-chatting with her friends about, some boy named Tyler, and I'm so over Tyler, but I'm going to make him beg to take me to the dance. And her friends leave. Okay. She sits on the steps. She takes her jacket off, and I love this top. It's a spaghetti strap top with little daisies on the strap. She looks great. And she's approached by an older gentleman.
She is. She's approached by a gentleman named Merrick.
Yes.
We don't find out his name right away.
We don't.
But this is Merrick, and he's also played by a very famous character actor named Richard Reilly.
Yes, he is.
Richard Reilly might best be known for for two major roles, which was one was in Casino.
Okay.
And second was in Office Space, which was also
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I love, again, having these character actors who've been in so many different series and films and continued to work and continues to work to this day.
It's great. He's great here. Yeah. And he tells her, you are the chosen one. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
It's a famous gift where he says, you're chosen to stop them. She says, stop who? And he says, the vampires. And she goes, huh?
Yeah.
I definitely use that gif a time or two.
So here we are. We're watching the episode Becoming One, Part One, and Becoming Part Two. We have seen Liam become Angel.
So become Angelus.
We've seen him become Angelus. And now we're seeing Buffy become the Slayer.
I have one question. Hold on. I think it's time. Point of order.
Madam.
Is this the right venue to have this conversation? They're in a crowded school.
They're at the bus circle at school.
Maybe like catch her somewhere else.
Yeah. Ice cream shop. The mall.
It's LA. It's a big town. You could find a place that's a little bit more quiet.
Right. They're just going to walk up to school. A strange man.
An old man. He's an elderly man to her at this point.
Hey, you're the one. In LA, like how many chicks have been approached?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, come on. And
we go to the graveyard and it's still flashback. Angel's watching her like some creeper. Sorry.
Okay.
Guys, we were obsessed with Interview with the Vampire. We covered it on Unhinged. Go listen.
This is not right.
No, it's not.
Angel is a peeping Tom to a teenage girl.
She's 15.
It's not cool. What
cool.
is happening here?
I don't like it.
They could have done this sort of like introduction where he's, watching her walk downtown or watching her like in a mall or something like that. That's creepy enough. But to be outside the bedroom window,
it's not right.
No. But evidently this habit follows him through the rest of Buffy's high school career.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's very cute to see Buffy try to stake her like first vampires in the graveyard. She's just like, ooh, like she's very dainty.
Yes.
She's strong and she's showing that, but so different from the Buffy we have now.
Yeah. And this guy's supposed to be her watcher, Merrick. Is that right?
Merrick is her first watcher.
This is her first watcher.
Yeah.
Giles is much better.
He's killed by a vampire before she leaves LA and goes to Sunnydale. So we're still in this flashback, and now we're at Buffy's house in LA. Angel's still watching her through the window, and she lies. Her mom's like, "Where have you been?" We see Joyce. She asks Buffy, "Where have you been?" Buffy says she's been out with Tyler. Joyce is like, "I don't want you seeing that boy anymore."
Here we go, Joyce.
She leaves, and then we hear Joyce and Hank fighting.
Yeah.
And Buffy's hearing it all in the bathroom. And as children of divorced parents, and I know we were younger when our parents got divorced, but I could still remember like being in the house while they were fighting.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard.
I don't think you can really forget that. That's why it's so important to be careful when you're around young kids, what you're saying and how you're acting, because they're absorbing all of it.
They are.
They're aware.
They are. So we go to the sewers, and Whistler, I guess, has just been hanging in the sewers while Angel was creeping around LA watching Buffy.
I kept asking myself, is this Willie the Rat? It's not.
It's not Willie the Rat. It's Whistler.
Not, but I'm trying to understand what this character is. Is this a Jiminy Cricket character where you're just like, here to almost like narrate and kind of guide the story? Are you the ghost of like Christmas past, present, or future where you're like, oh, you got to change your ways, Angel, or, this is what your future could look like. But then we also get like this motivational like coach here. And I'm like, is this Mick from like Rocky?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Is this like his Mickey? It's like, come on, you got it in you, kid.
You got it, kid. Pretty much. And I mean, he's telling him like, hey, you can choose to help this girl and make a difference out of your like miserable existence.
Yeah, he's like, right now you couldn't go 3 rounds with a fruit fly, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah. And we go back to present day to Vamp Mansion. Mm-hmm. And Angel is trying to finish the ritual. He like plunges a sword or a knife thing into Acathla after he's killed the Eyes Wide Shut kid. And we see like everything lights up, but nothing happens. Yeah. And Angel's pissed. And Drusilla's like, what are we going to do? And
she says, what will we do? And he says, what we always do in times of trouble. And I immediately went to the Beatles. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll have our Armageddon, I swear.
I swear.
By this demon I carved out of stone.
I'll be there.
Oh my God.
Help us.
So we go to school. Buffy's in class. She's probably taking a final, looks like. And we also get a shot. Oh.
Go ahead.
We get a shot of like a hooded figure walking in the hallway.
She's going to walk.
Nobody's taking security checks at the school either.
Why not? Because so many kids have died and teachers have died. Things are not well in this town or this school.
They're not.
No one is going to notice a woman wearing a cloak just going down the hallway of Sunnydale.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
And she goes into this woman goes into Buffy's classroom, and we see she's a vampire. She throws her hood back and she says, "Tonight, sundown in the graveyard. Come alone or more will die." And she immolates. Yeah. She steps in the sun in front of the whole class. All of these students just saw someone burst into flames.
Thank you.
Gangs on PCP, I'm sure is what the line's going to be.
I'm so glad that you're addressing this, because I said, I'm sorry. How is school still in session?
We've asked that question many times, and they just keep it pumping. They're like, nothing to see here, folks.
This demon in a cloak walks through, admits to previous murders, threatens to commit more, and then just unalives herself.
Yeah.
By setting herself on fire in front of everyone. Like,
yeah.
No, school's out. Cancel everything. Like, call in FEMA. We need like emergency management to help.
Shut it
down.
Yeah.
No. Not happening.
Nope. So we go to the library and we see Buffy talking to Giles about what happened. And she is wearing this iconic blue coat. It's like to her ankles. It's a great coat.
I don't like it.
Really? Tell us more.
It's a no for me.
It's a no from you, dog?
That's
Why? You just don't like it?
She's got better coats.
Yes, but I feel like it's just iconic in the Buffy lore. But it is a baffling choice to wear to go to your final showdown with your former creature of the night ex-boyfriend who's murdering everybody.
Yeah.
And basically they formulate a plan. She's like, Giles, I have to go or he's going to kill more people. Kendra says she'll stay behind and guard everybody. And Willow is going to get set up for the ritual. She needs half an hour. But before Buffy leaves, Kendra imparts upon her a gift.
Mr. Pointy.
Mr. Pointy. It's her lucky steak. I have a plush version of Mr. Pointy right here. And the scene is supposed to be heartwarming. It's just funny to me.
It's just funny. And I'm also like, I'm sorry. You are the Slayer. Why are you giving away
your lucky steak?
Your lucky steak, Mr. Pointy, by the way, which I have so many issues with.
And I guess it's like, she's like, okay, Buff, you've got this. You've got to go kill him. Here's my steak. Oh, it just is.
Was this like a working dinner with Joss Whedon and others? And like, someone's like mouthful of foods. Like, what are we going to call the steak? Mr. Pointy. Oh my God. Genius. Done.
Write it down.
Mr. Pointy.
So we go to the cemetery and Buffy and an angel, Angelus, they're confronting each other.
They are.
And she's basically said, or I think he says something like, "Oh, I'm surprised you showed up."
So the idea.
Yes. Set it up.
Leaving the library is Kendra's giving Buffy Mr. Pointy.
Yes.
To
kill Angel.
For slaying. Right?
Yeah.
It's a lucky steak, so maybe this will work. Okay.
Sure.
Willow is set up to run a spell, to cast a spell at the same time that Buffy is out to stake Angelus.
Yeah. So basically, she's going because the vampire said, yeah, you got to come to the graveyard or he's going to kill more people.
Right.
So Buffy's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to kill him. But at the same time, Willow and the gang are like, well, we're going to try to work some magic to restore his soul. Buffy's aware of this.
Yes. They're basically hedging their bets and see what happens first.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, if you buy some time, we've got time to cast the spell.
Exactly.
But if not, you're there. You can stake him.
Yeah.
Well, Angelus has his own plans.
He does. And I love this little back and forth. he tells her, I'm surprised you showed. And she says, well, after your little immolationogram, like, what choice did I have? And
we get a little fighty kick.
We get a little fighty kick. I will say, Sarah Michelle Gellar, I love this where he says, I didn't come here to fight or something. I don't know. What does he say? He's like, gosh, I was hoping we could get back together. And she is such a good actor because you see on her face, she just looks so sad because she does want Angel back. He's the love of her life at this point. And then we get a little fighty kick. Like you said, when we go to the library, we just do a little quick cut where Willow is starting the ritual with Giles. I love it. Cordelia is saging, like waving sage around. Xander's looking petulant.
But not for long.
Not for long because
it's an ambush.
It's an ambush. He gets pushed by a vamp.
A vamp in the library. We don't know what door he came through, but anyway.
He's in, and then some come through the front, and it's chaos. We go back, and I'm sorry, and everybody's kind of scattering. Willow's hiding behind one of the really big tall stacks, and it gets pushed on top of her.
Yeah.
So we see her go down.
The whole process of restoring the soul gets broken up.
Yeah.
By these vamp minions. And Kendra is in the hallway running,
she's at the door of the library. Yeah.
And somehow misses the vamps that have entered the library, but catches two more coming on the hallway.
Well, she gets, because they all kind of come in at the same time. There's some that come in the library door, so she's facing them. Xander's trying to fight that one guy, and I think he breaks his hand.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's pretty brutal. Arm, yeah. And we go back to the graveyard where she's got Mr. Pointy, and she said, "Let's finish this." And he's like, "You don't get it. It's not about you." And then it dawns on her it's a trap, and he says, "And you fall for it." Every single time.
She's running away because she knows she immediately needs to get back to the school because her friends are in danger.
Yeah, and they are.
Cut back to the library, and in through the swinging doors walks Drusilla.
With her heels, she's click-clacking.
Click-clacking. And she and Kendra have a little fighty kick moment.
Yes, because by this point, Cordelia has escaped. Willow's under the stack.
Stack has fallen on Willow.
Xander's kind of holding his arm. Giles has been knocked out.
Giles is on the ground, out cold.
And Drusilla gets in front of Kendra and hypnotizes her.
She gives her a little bit of this.
And they start swaying.
I'm like, is it really that easy for a Slayer to be hypnotized?
That has been a question that fans alike have asked, and this is an uncomfortable thing to address in Buffy. The character of color is easily dispatched.
I see.
And she's a Slayer.
You're not wrong.
That's what it happens a lot. It's very uncomfortable, and it's something we need to address and call out and really emphasize that it's just not okay.
Yeah.
And I know that's such a simplistic way to put it, but this is the media that we were all consuming for better or worse.
You're right.
And it was a distinct lack of people of color. And when they were on this show, they were oftentimes dispatched this way.
I guess I have a further question to your point, which was, why did they bring Kendra back? What was the necessity of this? Was it just to kill her off?
I guess to just raise the stakes even more.
Maybe.
I think it's both, because they realized they were gonna have to deal with another Slayer.
Yeah.
I think they had plans for season 3 regarding that storyline, and they needed to get rid of her. She could have gone out not this way. I mean, Drusilla, I'm sorry. She cuts her with her nail.
There could have been a moment where Giles just walks out into the library at some point earlier in the episode where he's like, I just got a message from the Watcher down in
Sam Zabuto.
Yeah, and it appears that Kendra has, met her fate at the hands of
and a new Slayer has been called.
Yeah, and guess what? You're up again, Buff.
I don't know. It's just sad, but yeah, Drusilla has her hypnotized, and she slices her neck open with her nail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And throughout this whole montage, or throughout these scenes, we get a montage of Buffy running in her coat through the streets of Sunnydale. I'm running up the road.
Running to the library to save them.
Listen, I feel like our jingles are on point today.
Yeah, we are. So, we're always on point. Well,
we could do a Buffy. I'm not.
On Mr. Pointy.
We could do a Buffy edit where she's running. It's the scene, but it's running up that hill. Okay. So I do like when Drusilla is doing the hypnotizing, and I wish we got to see more of it. She's like, be in me. I'm like,
don't threaten me with a good time.
And after they've killed Kendra, she says, boys, let's take what we came for. And they pick up Giles.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm like, oh no.
I'm here for badass Drusilla getting out of the house without the boys.
She's fucking.
I'm here for it.
She's about her business. Yeah.
More of it.
And then we get the iconic scene of Buffy slow-mo running through the halls of Sunnydale High School with Whistler's voiceover about, nobody asks for their life to change, but it does.
Too late.
Buffy gets to the library. She finds Kendra and she grabs her hand. And it's just like sad music. She's in a panic. Then all of a sudden we hear freeze.
And we see guns drawn.
On Buffy.
And then it cuts to credits.
Part 2 immediately picks up with the freeze. And they're like, we're arresting you.
No.
What?
Why?
Well, I don't. We hear later on the episode that the Sunny Police Department is wildly stupid.
Sunnydale Police Department. Yes.
I don't know. It's very aggressive. And before we get into our discussion, quick disclaimer. We are going to be talking about a gun in a school setting. If that is something that is triggering for you, skip ahead a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the officers pick Buffy up and they're like walking her out of the library.
Aggressively. With no cause.
They didn't Mirandize her.
They didn't witness her hurting anyone.
No.
In fact, she showed up late to the scene.
Yeah.
And they're just pulling firearms on her. They have no idea if she was trying to render aid.
They have nothing.
Or if she was actually like the perpetrator of this crime.
Yeah.
Then
it doesn't look good for her. She's standing over a dead body.
Well, then Snyder's all like, well, you're out of here. Of course it was you, whatever he's saying to her.
Yeah.
And then the cops like turning her around, getting ready to put handcuffs on her. And good for her. She's like, oh, no, not today. Like, I've got to save you from being sucked into a hell dimension along with you and everyone else.
Gotta go.
And this gal cop comes around the corner, has clearly not had any sort of de-escalation technique training whatsoever.
None.
Because she straight up pulls her firearm and fires at this 16-year-old girl running away in the school hallway.
And a man is standing in the middle of it. Like, she could have easily shot Snyder. Which,
hey, collateral damage
sucks to suck, but
come on.
That's
taking it here when it should be here.
Are they going to pay for that broken glass window?
I don't know, but that lady had too much caffeine that morning, man. That was aggressive.
Well, and that's, unfortunately a real conversation in this country with cops and power and
you don't say.
Being, for lack of a better term, trigger happy.
That's it.
Yeah. It was like, I was very cringy watching this because not even like a, hey, stop.
We just want to ask you some questions.
Like, hey, let's everybody calm down. We need to take you to the station.
She's a teenage girl. She's scared. She's running away.
Right.
Whatever the scenario may be, it doesn't go from 0 to pow.
No, it shouldn't.
It's should
really
not.
Scary.
Yeah.
And then, the principal is just.
Old Schneider's like, you missed her.
Yeah.
Better luck next time.
Ugh.
What's he up to?
Well, we know he's up to something because at the end of this episode, he calls someone and says, tell the mayor I have good news. So he's in cahoots with somebody and it involves getting Buffy out of the way.
All right. Well, so Buffy's on the run. She's on the lam. And we see her doing what someone should probably not do if they're trying to avoid being caught, which is she goes straight to the hospital where the other two victims are being treated.
Right. And well, she put a disguise on.
Well, not other two, just Willow, I guess.
Xander, she doesn't know if Xander's not.
Xander's arm.
He broke his hand. Yeah. So Kendra was killed.
She puts her disguise on.
Yes. She puts a black beanie and a black jacket on.
This is when Buffy's like undercover. It's
Detective
the beanie.
Buffy.
It's this beanie and this jacket.
It's great.
Okay. So she had to run from the high school. Home.
Go home.
To change.
Yeah.
Which, of course, the cops aren't looking for at home.
Well, no. They are.
They're always 2 steps behind.
Yeah. They're deeply stupid.
Dude, centuries. Yeah. And then she's off to the hospital. And I love Incognito Buffy.
I love Incognito Buffy.
She's just kind of like slinking
But she still
around.
looks great.
Doesn't want to get caught, but looking hot.
Looking great.
Looking good. And she runs across stupid fucking Xander.
She sure as fuck does. He's okay. She hugs him.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah. He's got a cast, I guess. He broke his hand. And they hug.
Broke his arm, broke his forearm.
Oh, yeah.
Snapped it.
Yeah, that would be so painful. He
looks something like this.
Oh God. He he hugs her. They hug because she's like, I was so worried about you. And then he sees the police. So he pulls her back into another hug. And Buffy says, I hope you were trying to protect me and not trying to cop a feel. And
he needs industrial strength therapy.
She's like, that was 50% protecting me and 50% copping a feel. And he just doesn't even answer it. And I'm like, did homeboy just cop a feel?
Not the time. Like, what do you
Bro.
And we're coming at Xander pretty aggressively because what he does at the end of this episode
and also
is
what he's had done.
That, yes, exactly, is so it's just egregious. The whole, we'll get to it, but Willow said kick his ass is not what Willow said. He is just acting a fool. He is acting a fool.
He always does what's in his best interest.
Yes. We learned that Xander broke hand, forearm, something.
Mm-hmm.
Willow is unconscious. They said she got head trauma. And the Rosenbergs are in Phoenix. They've been called. And they're like, well, where's Giles? Cordelia comes in. She says she was, she ran away and it took her about 3 counties to realize no one was chasing her. And then they're like, well, was Giles with you? Well, no. Isn't he here? No. And they realize Giles is missing. We're going to see him in the next scene, though.
We know where he is. We watched
do.
him get drug away by Drew and her minions.
By the minions, yep. Yeah, he's at Vamp Mansion being woken up by Angelus.
He is. And Angelus is very excited to either learn the secrets that Giles has as far as opening this demon's mouth or at the prospect of torturing Giles, which...
And I say, why not both?
Why not? Jenny's like a little bit of this and that.
Keep it spicy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's going to get the information from Giles on how to be worthy to open Acathla. And he's really reveling in his... Just going to keep it going.
Really? He's
reveling in the torture. He said, it's been so long since I've tortured someone. And they didn't even have chainsaws around last time I tortured someone. I'm like, Jesus, Angelus. Shit.
Chainsaw can do some pretty bad damage, I would think.
Well, like to quote
there wouldn't
Spike,
be much torturing going on.
No, they'd be cleaning Librarian out of the carpet for a week.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we leave there with a deep sense of foreboding.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Giles.
No. We go to Buffy's where Crackerjack Sonny PD, Detective Dickhead, as you named him when we were watching.
Oh, yeah. And they're like,
they're questioning Joyce.
Would you know maybe where your daughter is? And she's like, no. They're like, well, she was hanging. She's probably over at Willow's house. Oh, Willow, that's victim number 2. She's like, wait, what? He's like, ma'am, your daughter is basically like a menace to society.
She has a history of violence.
And Joyce is like, oh, no, not my Buffy.
I mean, Buffy literally thought she killed her robot boyfriend, right? Like,
yes.
It's just
Joyce.
Joyce in this episode, I struggle with because when I first watched this show, multiple rewatches, I did not have children. Now, having children, I can identify and empathize a little bit more with Joyce, but then there's sometimes I'm like, Joyce.
Yeah, she's got her head buried in the sand.
Yeah.
And even Buffy calls her out later in the episode in just a little bit where she's like, wake up.
You've been washing out. What did you think was happening?
Out blood from my clothes? Like, what was going on? Did you never think to ask questions?
And she doesn't.
And hey, we've had this discussion about Joyce.
We have
multiple times over the past 2 seasons about like where is she in all of this?
Right.
She's reading the parenting books, but she's not applying any of it.
Well, says she's listening to the tapes too, and I don't believe it.
No, she's doing her taxes.
Falling in love with robots.
Who doesn't?
She's a single mom who listens to tapes but doesn't apply the knowledge. Sure. Okay.
Batteries in her drawer.
Oh my God. So Detective Dickhead basically says, if you see your daughter around, give us a call.
Yeah.
Gives her a card
sure.
and
Yeah, we'll call you on January 6th, buddy. Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong.
No.
No, you're
Look
not.
at him.
I would have questions, thoughts, and concerns. Yeah.
If I ran into him in the woods, I'd rather
run into a bear.
Yeah.
So now we go to Giles. Buffy's going to go to Giles's and see if he's there. Giles isn't there, but Ryan's new favorite character is.
I'm over this dude.
You're over Whistler?
Whistler. Okay. He's come out of nowhere. We have zero context for who he is, what his role is. He's this character who is just undefined. He has kind of the voice of Willie the Rat, but kind of the presence of like a film noir detective. So I don't understand. Is he Jiminy Cricket again? Like, who is he? What sort of character is he? The ghost of Christmas, this or that? What's his role? And is it needed? Because later we're going to find out everything that he is there to relate to the viewers and to the characters in the show gets told to us in another way. It's just, I don't understand his purpose.
Well,
and I'm really not happy with him just B&Ing Giles's apartment
and rummaging through his things,
snooping around in the dark.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And Buffy doesn't like it either.
So Whistler is a demon, an immortal demon who's an agent of the powers that be.
What the fuck does that mean? Oh, okay. I'm just supposed to accept that.
Yeah.
No.
Like I said, and if you all listening and watching have seen Angel, the series, this would have been the perfect place for Doyle. What they do with Doyle's character and they kind of get rid of Whistler, it's really well done. Yeah, it's just, this is the only thing for these 2 episodes really for me that's clumsy is the insertion of Whistler and his role. It's like we didn't.
It's supposed to be like the chorus. Like, what is, like, I don't
kind
understand.
of,
like
yeah, but
narrator?
it's so cryptic. And there was one part where we both were like, you could have just said that, you know, like, hey, Angel's blood opens and closes the gate.
That's it. But that could have just been like in a book of lore that Giles had that they stumbled upon in the library. Willow's like,
which it was because Giles knew that.
Exactly. So we didn't really need him.
We didn't need Whistler.
We don't need this character. They come right out of the box in part 1 with him doing a voiceover and the audience having no fucking clue who the voiceover is.
Right. At least with Passion, we know who Angelus is.
You don't even meet the voice behind the voiceover for half an episode.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And I just don't understand if it, like, is he just like this life coach for Angel?
Well, and he's being a dick when he's in here. When Buffy comes in, she's like, who are you? And he, you know, I'm Whistler, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, what do you want? And he says, a date to the prom. And Buffy's like, no. Slams him against the wall and was like, I have had a really bad day.
We don't have time for that.
No, if you don't tell me who you are and what you want, I'm going to rip out your rib cage and wear it as a hat.
I hope she does. And not like the hat that he's got on.
His pork pie hat.
His small fedora.
But the fedora doesn't have like a lip all the way around, right? Or what is this called? A brim?
Kind of tough to see this guy's hat because it's always dark in every scene that he's in.
That's true.
Dark alley, dark apartment.
And he's doing the thing that I only have so much tolerance for is the cryptic stuff. He's like, this wasn't supposed to be how it went down. Angel was supposed to stop Acathla and not bring him forth.
That's when she just needs to put him in a fucking neck hold, you know, like one of these and be like, continue. Yeah, like fill it in. You know, going back to the show that we watched, the Nobody Wants This.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm feeling really anxious. I need you to fucking say it.
Yeah. Stop dancing around.
Stop
just say it.
Beating around the bush.
I do like his line of, but then you two made with the smoochies.
That was good.
That was good. And he became a creep again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
where was this? They could have introduced this character at another time. Like
he should have showed up
the end of the last episode or something. I don't know.
Or when Angelus came back, they could have introduced Whistler's like, hey, this is not, we had this whole plan. This is not how it's going to go down. I'm going to help you figure out how to stop him.
Or how about when Angelus is Angel and it's just friends with Buffy and they're just like sharing moments and be like, hey, there's this guy in my life. His name is Whistler.
He actually brought me
goes.
He brought me to you so I could creepily watch you as a 15-year-old.
I've been watching you for, 15 years or however long. I don't know.
Put a pin in that, because when we get to my boy in a few minutes, everybody's really gonna see why I love Spike more than Angel when it comes to the men vampires in the show. So in there, she's like, I don't have time for this, and he says the sword's not going to be enough. You have to know how to use it. It's like, then tell her how to fucking use it. And he says, in the end, you're always by yourself. You're all you've got. That's the point.
I'm like, well, okay.
Helpful.
There's the lesson for the show. We can just go ahead and roll the credits.
And we go to the playground. Buffy's in incognito mode still. And a police car pulls up. He recognizes Buffy, I guess. And he gets out. He's like telling her to freeze, but somebody kicks him in the face.
Who is it?
Spike. Spike is here. He's out of his wheelchair and he's fighting.
Hello, cutie.
Oh, come on. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of fighty, kick, and he, knocks the cop out, I guess.
Yeah.
He has a proposal for Buffy.
He does.
I think this is the moment.
This is the moment.
This is the moment. All right.
This is the moment. This is the test.
What is this from? Into the Woods?
No, this is from Don Quixote.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you feel about Little Black Box Theater?
I'm in.
Let's do it. On today's edition of Vampire Black Box Theater, the role of Buffy Summers will be played by Ryan Something, and the role of Spike will be played by me, Jennifer P. Katz. See.
Cut to the park. Buffy walks through with her head down. A car drives by. She steps into the street and watches as the car goes. When she turns back, she sees a police officer going, but doesn't run. Instead, hoping that the officer won't notice her. He does, though, and turns on his light bar and lets the siren give a brief, loud tone. He pulls the car aside, stops, gets out. Buffy ignores him and keeps walking right past the front of the vehicle. The officer draws his gun.
Hold right there.
Buffy spins around to face him.
Put your hands on your head. Do it.
She stares at his gun, frightened, and begins to raise her hands. Suddenly, the gun gets kicked out of the officer's hands. He gets kicked in the face and the shin, and then grabbed and thrown onto the hood of the car, where he lies unconscious. His attacker faces a surprised Buffy.
Hello, cutie.
In the park, Spike takes a step toward Buffy. She's immediately decks him twice in the face. He grabs her by the shoulders to restrain her. She brings his knee up to his gut.
Now you hold on a second.
He gives her a good shove away from himself. She reaches into her coat, pulls out her stake. Spike jumps back and holds up his hands in surrender.
Hey, white flag here. I quit.
Let me clear this up for you. We're mortal enemies. We don't get timeouts.
You want to go around, pet? I'll have a gay old time of it. You want to stop Angel? We're going to have to play this a bit differently.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your ex, pet. I'm talking about putting him in the bloody ground.
This has got to be the lamest trick you guys have ever thought up.
He's got your watcher. Right now, he's probably torturing him.
What do you want?
I told you. I want to stop Angel. I want to save the world.
Okay, you do remember that you're a vampire, right?
We like to talk big, vampires do. I'm going to destroy the world. That's just tough guy talk. Strutting around with your friends over a pint of blood. The truth is, I like this world. You've got dog racing, Manchester United, and you've got people. Billions of people walking around like Happy Meals with legs. It's all right here. But then someone comes along with a vision, with a real passion for destruction. Angel could pull it off. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Bloody Square. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, fine. You're not down with Angel. Why would you ever come to me?
I want Drew back. I want it like it was before he came back. The way she acts around him.
You're pathetic. He punches her in the face and she punches him right back. I lost my friend tonight.
I wasn't in on that raiding party.
And I may lose more. This whole earth may be sucked into hell, and you want my help because your girlfriend's a big hoe? Let me take this opportunity to not care.
I can't fight them both alone, and neither can you.
Buffy punches him hard in the jaw, making him flinch. He straightens back up and feels his jaw, checking for blood. I hate you.
And I'm all you've got.
The police officer begins to stir on the hood of the car. All right, talk.
I'm just going to kill this guy.
Buffy clears her throat. Spike faces her.
Oh, right.
Buffy raises her eyebrows. Let's get inside.
See. Yes.
This scene
Yes.
was everything.
Everything. I love Buffy and Spike's dynamic. I love
This is it.
this characterization of Spike who's like, hey, I like this world. I want to live in this world. I don't want Angel to destroy it. And yeah, I want my girlfriend back.
Yeah.
He's being very pragmatic.
He is. He's a very pragmatic vampire.
He
is the straight guy in the situation here. He's like, hey, let's just go back to the way things were. He liked the status quo. And this is interesting coming from a character like Spike, because isn't he like the Slayer killer? Yeah,
he loves, I mean, later on when he says true back to Slayer,
yeah,
like he has killed two Slayer. Multiple Slayers. Yeah, he's killed two Slayers. He came to Sunnydale to kill a Slayer.
Buffy.
He's not, that's what I like about this. He's not all of a sudden a good guy.
No.
He was going to kill that police officer for sure. He's being pragmatic and knowing that Buffy is the only one who can help him get what he wants.
That's it.
I love it.
I'm here for it.
I am so here for the two of them teaming up.
You have built up this relationship for a number of years since I've known you.
Yeah.
I have gotten through season 1, and now I'm through season 2, and I'm finally started. This was the moment when I watched it and I was like,
you get it.
This is the energy.
Yes.
And this is the beginning of what is going to possibly blossom into a much deeper relationship between these two, good and bad. This is the moment that these two form a bond
of some kind. Yes. I don't think
I mean, maybe she's standing there being like, oh man, the world's about to end and my boyfriend is weird and my watcher is kidnapped and my best friend's in the hospital and my other friend just copped a feel, but you look pretty good in the moonlight. Anyway,
what was I saying? Yeah, he does look good.
He does. He looks very fresh.
He looks great. And I like his bad boy outfit compared to fucking swashbuckler McGee we're going to get to.
His bad boy outfits. He's got his dark duster, his black duster on with like a red shirt underneath it.
Red silk shirt with a black tee, black jeans, combat boots. He looks great. Yeah, I mean, I love this. The Hello Cutie. Like, look, Spike has obviously had some kind of interest in Buffy beyond the Slayer. He was intrigued by her fighting, intrigued by the fact that she's got friends. He's not an idiot.
I think he's enjoying Sunnydale. He's reading the paper. He takes the paper.
I forgot about that. She read it in the bloody newspaper. Yeah, so I love this. And again, when we get to the scene later where it's Spike, Buffy, and Joyce, I can't wait to talk about it. But
so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Happy to see it, and it was exciting. This moment this is a big moment in Buffy.
It is the Hello Cutie. It's a big deal.
Hello Cutie.
Hello Cutie.
It was so great.
I hope we can one day have James Marsters on and chat about all this. Like one thing I don't know. Well, I think I kind of do. They didn't really have. Yeah, I do know this. I lied. They didn't have Buffy and Spike in mind when they wrote any of this. They thought Spike was going to get killed off.
Yeah.
Okay. We go to the hospital room, and this is a scene that I do not like, where Xander's holding Willow's hand.
Ooh.
He's like, you got to wake up. I need you, Will. You're my best friend. I love you. And I hate the show for doing this because they make you wonder, is he confessing romantic love after all this time where Willow pined for him and he was not nice to her about it? But he knew about it. He knew about it. He was awful with Buffy. He's been with Cordelia. And now she's got a head injury and he's like, oh, I'm professing my love when she's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he just saying, like, as a friend, as a best friend, hey, I love you? They've known each other since they were 5. The show doesn't do a good enough job, in my opinion, of making that clear of what his intentions are.
But we know what his intentions have been.
Right.
And we know that it's always usually very self-serving toward his ego.
And his own interests, yeah.
And his own interests. And yeah, no, I think he is saying this in a romantic way, because you can see how awkward he gets when Oz walks in. And then he kind of feels like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe that was not the right thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Wrong time, wrong place.
And I'm glad Oz shows up, because
Me too.
Yeah. Willow wakes up and she calls for Oz, and he comes in. He's like, yep, I'm here, baby. Do you need anything?
Yeah. But
They're
I'm with
so
you.
Sweet.
That whole scene gives me the ick. I don't like how he's like, I love you. And all of a sudden she's awake from her.
Yes. Like his love brought her back.
Like his love brought her back. Like some Disney prince or princess. And I'm like, no, Xander is not that character.
No.
And I refuse to accept that.
I'm with you.
So I love it when Oz walks in and just kills that entire fucking moment and vibe.
Yeah.
That he had, that Xander had.
Right.
Not the vibe that is, hey, let's take care of this young woman that we both love.
Yeah.
But Oz loves romantically.
Right. And I love Willow. She's like, is my head big? It feels really big. And Oz says, no, it's head size.
Yeah.
Fucking love Oz. Love those two. Yeah.
Their lingo.
And we go back to Vamp Mansion, which
is on Crawford Street.
On Crawford Street.
By the way.
Crawford Street in good old Sunnydale.
Hey, that's what I need to help build this map.
I know. I can't wait.
I need
street names.
Crawford Street Mansion. I can go from there.
And Giles is tied up. His fingers are bleeding. And Angelus is cleaning Giles's glasses. And I take umbrage.
You did.
I yelled, I was like, don't you touch his glasses. But very quickly, our conversation when we were watching, went into Angelus's outfit. Wow.
I mean, we're not surprised.
We're not.
He has worn this outfit or something similar to the bronze many a night.
We have, ever since he became evil, he has shown his affinity for leather pants.
Yes.
He's got these leather pants. They're kind of like a low-rise leather pant.
They're very low-rise with a big-ass belt buckle with like a skull on the front.
And a black silk shirt.
Silk swashbuckling shirt.
That's great.
I mean, this is flowy.
It's flowy. This could be Lestat if he wanted to have a night out as a bad boy.
Lestat does have an outfit in Interview with the Vampire, the series. And it's when they're living in New Orleans. And I think it might be close to his PJs or something that's just like kind of a house outfit.
Yeah.
But it's the black on black with the flowy, kind of like top. And I'm like, I'd rock that.
Siri, stop.
Yeah.
Or does he say Alexa?
No, he says Siri.
Yeah, I love it so much. Okay. So Giles is holding strong.
Siri, pause.
Yeah, Siri, pause. It's one of the best line deliveries.
That's perfect.
So good.
Perfect.
So Giles is being tortured, and Angel's like, I can end it. You just tell me to end it. And he's like, how are you doing, Rupert? And Giles says, never better.
Yeah.
So then Angel says, okay, well, just tell me when it hurts.
Yep.
And we go back to Buffy and Spike. They're like walking down the road. Mm-hmm. Again, Buffy, you are conspicuous. Now you're with somebody who's probably even more conspicuous looking than you, girlfriend. And they're going to Buffy's house.
They arrive at Buffy's house. As they're coming up the sidewalk.
Could they have not run, maybe?
As they are walking up the sidewalk, Joyce is whipping in the driveway in that Jeep Cherokee.
I love it. What a 90s mom car.
And she's got the look on her face where have you been, young lady? And that's pretty much what she says when she gets out of the car.
Yes.
Which was, you need to stop right there. Where have you been? Are you okay?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Like, who is this man?
Yes. More importantly, who is this adult male now? A different adult male walking you home.
Yeah.
What is happening? Joyce.
And Spike's like, oh, she doesn't know? And Joyce is like, know what? And Buffy says,
like, and this is your moment to tell your mother.
She doesn't, though.
And she does not, again.
She says, we're in a band. She goes, a band.
Uh-huh.
And Spike, I love him. He just steps in. Like, she plays the
triangle. Buffy's like, drums.
He says, she's hell on the old skins.
And Joyce, just matter of fact. And what do you play?
Well, I sing. Like he's thought about this. James Marsters is so good.
I want to see this band.
Maybe one day you will.
Yeah.
Who could say? But their little band gets interrupted. Band talk gets interrupted because there's a vamp minion lying in wait.
Yeah, who lunges at Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy stakes the vampire in front of Mom.
She sees the vampire dust. Buffy stakes it and it does.
Joyce says, what is going on?
Yeah, and she says, Mom, I'm a vampire slayer.
Cut to commercial.
Fuck. But before we cut to commercial, just look. Point of order. Spike is there for one of Buffy's biggest moments of her life.
Yes.
Telling her mother she's a slayer. Spike is right there. Spike is connected to this moment for Buffy. I just want everyone to note it.
Okay.
Angel is too busy trying to suck the world into hell in his swashbuckler shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Spike's there. Note it. Just note it. It's all I'm saying.
It's noted.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
pointing out this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Got it. We go back to the hospital.
The hospital.
Willow's on the phone with Buffy. Buffy's called her to check in. Willow's like, yeah, I said my brain didn't get all mushed at all. And she's like eating just Jello in those like plastic hospital bowls. Buffy's a sleigh in this outfit. Like now that she's got her beanie off and the hoodie, it's like a black tucked in like V-neck. She's got the Claire's cross necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if the pants are tan or gray. You know, sensible boot. She looks great. I love it. And I just love while Buffy's on the phone with Willow, we cut to Spike and Joyce in the living room. Joyce has like a glass of wine or sherry or whiskey. I don't know. And they're just like,
Sherry.
Joyce would drink sherry. You know, she probably
Glass
would.
of Chablis.
Small glass of Chablis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we learn in the middle of Buffy's conversation that the mansion, this is where we get the Crawford Street drop.
Nice.
And she, you know, they're like, we don't know where Giles is. Buffy says, I wish he was here to tell me what to do. I think Xander gets on the phone and asks, like, do you think he's alive? And Buffy says, yeah, I think he is. We cut back to Spike and Joyce. And Joyce is like, have we met? Spike says, yeah, you hit me with an axe once. Remember, get the hell away from my daughter.
That was so good.
She's like, oh, right. And then she just looks at him and says, so do you live around here? So great. I love
awkward,
that.
Joyce.
Yeah. But their little conversation gets cut off because Buffy comes back in. And Buffy's trying to break everything down for Spike. Like, okay, here's the plan. You know, what is I mean, they're just going back and forth. He's like, I'm going to help you, but me and Drew get to leave. Mm-hmm. She's like, no, Drew killed Kendra. And Spike says, oh, Drew bagged a slayer? Wow, she didn't tell me.
Yeah, he's so proud.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, Joyce is in the background like, so what did she say? Oh, are you sure you're a vampire slayer?
Yeah.
Have you tried not being one?
Yeah. Well, and she's also, you know, confirming, so you didn't kill that girl.
Oh, that's right.
And Buffy's like, no. She's like, okay. So Joyce is really trying to make sense of all of this.
Yeah.
And, you know, Buffy, in an attempt to leave because, you know, every single moment that they're there, Giles is being tortured. Right.
So Spike has left at this point with they've come to the uneasy agreement that Spike and Drew get out of there. But if Giles dies, so does Drew.
Sure. Yeah. Gloves come off. This is a big moment between Buffy and Joyce, but it's also a huge moment in the series.
Yes, it is.
Where Buffy has finally come out to her mom about being a slayer. Joyce is having an issue understanding what that means,
right?
Let alone accepting it. And she just needs some clarity and some answers and would appreciate Buffy taking the time to explain that. And Buffy's like, I gotta go.
She doesn't have the time now.
I don't have the time. I'm the slayer. Yeah. Accept it. And Joyce is combative. And she's like,
I don't accept it.
I don't accept it. Like, you need to talk to me. What does this mean? What's going on? And it's like, all this is a great conversation. This is healthy. It's just really bad timing. Yeah. And had you been more transparent with your mother and Joyce, had you been more involved in your daughter's life, asking questions, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation at the 12th hour or the 11th hour trying to, you know, come to some sort of understanding and clarity as to what this is. So Joyce is pissed. Buffy she tries to restrain Buffy from leaving, and Buffy blows her off, pushes her into the island. So she's showing her mom that she's got strength.
She's very strong.
That she never knew. And she hits the road. And when she walks out the door, Joyce is like, if you walk out that door,
don't even think about coming
back. And I'm like, man, how many times have I heard that as a kid?
Yeah.
The
siren song of our childhood.
That's right. But the door was always open. And that's,
Yeah. It's
fortunate.
It's hard to watch because, like I said earlier, it's hard to watch being a former child whose mother would say stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard being a mother and watching another mother tell your child, if you walk out, don't come back in.
Right.
It would take a lot for me to remove my children from my house.
Yeah.
And I get it, Joyce. You are confused. You are trying to process. This is scary. You're worried for her safety.
You got the police telling you that your daughter is a menace to society.
Has potentially killed someone.
You've had to move to this town because your daughter caused trouble at a school.
Yes.
And literally burned down the gym. So you're confused. You're trying to make sense. You're trying to have some sort of handle on the situation. But, this is, I think, beyond Joyce's control. She just doesn't really know it yet.
Yeah, and this scene is a very interesting, what's the word, analogy for coming out to a parent. I feel like they use a lot of the same language.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's why I refer to it in that.
Right. Yeah. It's like, do you think I want to be this way?
Right.
Have you tried not being this?
Sure.
It's, that was something.
I am this way. Accept it. I don't accept it.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Get out of my house. Well, if you leave, you don't have a place to come back to. And, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. And I do like Buffy pushing back, before she walks out. She says, where have you been the last 2 years? What did you think was going on?
Yeah.
All the time you've washed blood out of my clothes. Like, Joyce, they're both at fault in this. I think at the end of the day, though, Joyce is the adult. Joyce is the parent. Buffy's a child expected to navigate this chosen duty.
Right.
And she is killing, and she's had people she cared about killed, and it's tough. It's a tough look for old Joyce right now for me.
No, it is tough. And it's just, also 16-year-old girl. There's also, and Joyce, trying to be a parent, trying to navigate, what's real, what's emotions, what's going on and how to, so I feel for Joyce, but you're right. As my therapist would say, she's the adult in the situation.
She's the adult.
It's her responsibility to address this. But anywho,
so we go.
A lot.
It is a lot.
But anyway, big moment is what I'm trying to say for the series.
Buffy is she's kind of, again, I don't know if rude's the right word. I know she's going through something, but she basically tells her mom, have another drink. And Joyce throws the glass. And it's like, you don't get to talk to me that way. And she's like,
yes, she does throw the glass. That was good.
Yeah.
I've forgotten.
Yeah. And Buffy gives the line of like, open your eyes, Mom. What do you think has been happening? And Joyce tries to say, well, it stops now. And Buffy says, it never stops. It never stops. Do you think I'd rather be doing this instead of being up in my room, gossiping about boys, or God, even studying? But I have to go save the world.
Right.
Again. And Joyce says, no, this is insane. Buffy, you need help.
Yeah.
So she's maybe thinking like Buffy has had some kind of psychotic break, even though she saw somebody get staked in front of her eyes.
That's it. Trust your eyes, Joyce.
Yep. And then that's when she says, I'm not letting you out of this house. And Buffy leaves. And that's, it's not good.
No, it's tough.
No. So we go to the hospital room, Cordy, Oz, Xander, and Willow are in Willow's room. And Willow says she wants to try the spell again.
Yeah.
She's feeling strong enough. She gets her material. She'll do it. We've got to try to stop Acathla. We've got to get Angel back. And I love Spike. I love Oz. Is like, I pretty much missed on some stuff, didn't I? I missed out on some stuff. I'm like, yeah, buddy. You were off touring the Pacific Northwest.
On tour.
Missing the big stuff.
So Willow sends Oz and Cordelia to the library to get whatever supplies that she's going to need to cast this spell. And she says, Cordelia will explain it to you. She'll catch you up on the way to the library. And, Xander, who we know is against this idea from the start, starts to poo-poo it, and she cuts him off. And she's like, hey, my resolve face.
I love it. Resolve face.
Get out of here. Go do what you need to do.
Go call Buffy and tell her.
Yeah. And make note of that.
Make note.
She gives him
clear instructions
of what to do.
Yeah.
So
Vamp Mansion. We go back to Vamp Mansion on Crawford Street.
This is so good.
Giles is still holding strong.
He's holding strong, and he's being a bit defiant too.
Very defiant.
Because now he's playing with Angel. He's like, okay, I'll tell you. He's like, you have to be in like the right headspace. And he's like, And he's like, and you have to wear a tutu.
Like, you must perform the ritual in a tutu. Pillock. He calls him a pillock. And
so great.
Angel's like, all right, fuck it. Get the chainsaw.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to torture you. And in rolls Spike.
He rolls in because he's back in the wheelchair now.
He's performative Spike.
Mm-hmm.
He's back in his wheelchair, and Angel's like, he's telling him basically, hey, don't do that. They're like, there's a better way.
Yeah.
He's like, shut up, sit and spin.
Yeah. He's like, look, I don't want to clean librarian out of the carpet for the next week. Let's bring in, he doesn't say it, but basically bring in the big guns. He's like, hey, Drusilla, come on in here. And what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But again, he had made that deal with Buffy to keep Giles alive. So Spike is working it.
Yeah. Spike's like, hey, Drew, you want to play a game? And Drew's always up for a game of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
So we cut to the library.
Buffy's walking in the library to get the sword. And we have a chalk outline.
I cannot.
Of, I guess, where Kendra fell.
Not the chalk outline on the floor.
It's comical.
It is.
Fucking cue the Looney Tunes music, the clown car. That is ridiculous. It's so dumb. And Buffy's not alone in the library, though.
Oh.
Snyder has just been creepily waiting for her, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, this is a crime scene, but I guess it's fitting given that you're a criminal.
And
buddy,
shut the fuck up.
The only thing criminal here are your fucking suits and your fucking attitude.
He sucks.
He does.
And, she's like, the police are going to figure out that it wasn't me. And it wasn't me. And he says what we've been saying for 2 seasons now. The police of Sunnydale are deeply stupid.
Yeah, well, he's not wrong in that.
No.
And then he just
so
revels in this moment. He's like, you have to enjoy these moments. And he tells Buffy that she is expelled.
He expels her from school.
And he's just loving it. And I think typically Buffy would be like hurt or sad or disappointed because she's going to disappoint her mom or something like that. And she just doesn't fucking care. Nope. She's got her I don't care face on.
Yeah, she's a woman on a mission.
Yeah. What does she say to him?
She pulls the sword out of where she was like,
oh yeah, this is great.
She's looking at it and she just kind of casually points it toward him. And she starts walking toward him and she says, you never got a date in high school, did you? And then he's like kind of scared. Yeah. And then she walks out and he pulls out his little cell phone and says, it's Snyder. Tell the mayor I've got good news.
Who is he working for? And is he working for the vamps? Is he working for the demons? Because he's got it out for Buffy.
Yep. And what's the mayor's role in all this?
What is the mayor's role?
Stay tuned for Once More Season 3 and find out. Ding. Go back to Vamp Mansion. And Drew is like cleaning Giles's cut. She's dabbing it. She's like, oh, is that better?
It's great makeup on Giles. They really make him look like he's suffering.
Like he's been through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she does what she did to Kendra. She makes him look at her, gets her nails. She goes, be in me. See with your heart.
Whoa.
And she is all of a sudden, we see Jenny Calendar. Robia Lamort came back for this episode. I'm so glad she did.
Love that. She looks really good. She's got a very Dua Lipa vibe going on.
She really does. You think I'm gonna fall for an illusion.
And he does.
And he does.
He falls for it.
He falls for it. And he looks, Anthony Stewart Head looks so relieved and so happy. He's like, I thought I lost you. She's like doing the shh.
Yeah.
And she asks him, basically she tricks him into telling her what the ritual is.
Oh yeah. She's doing the real sultry, like, whisper lips. Tell me. It's okay. We can be together.
Yeah.
You can be in me. Or whatever she says. I can't really remember.
I don't remember that line.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway.
Fanfic.
It was getting a little warm. Yes.
Suck that.
Yes.
Omar should do this. It's been a while. Oh, no.
This is the one I've got coming. That's good. Okay.
So, okay. So we learned Giles says, it's Angel. We've got to get Angel away from Acathla. His blood is the key.
Right. Okay. Here's where I stop in this scene.
Do you need the point of order button?
No, I don't. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, y'all, let's outsmart the vampires, which is usually not that difficult.
Right. Because we see the minions are fucking fools.
So I'm like, why don't they give the Romani spell that restores his soul? Why don't they give it to Angel and tell him that this is the ritual he has to perform in order to get Acathla, whatever, mouth to open up and suck everyone into hell? Like fool him, like give him the old switcheroo.
But he knows what that ritual is, remember, because he tried to destroy it with that night he killed Jenny. So he I don't think he'd be fooled by that because he would know what it was. And you
think he's read it?
Yeah, I think he did. And he saw the orb of Thesla. He's like, an orb of Thesla to like hold a soul. You know what I mean? He clocked it. I think that's a good theory, like a good idea.
Like, throw him off the scent. Make him cast his own spell.
Or
that would have been a good they got you.
Or Angelus could, when he's Angelus, be like, how do I prevent this from happening again? Let me cast some magic where his soul could never be restored. But no, we can't have that plot. No. So Drusilla, once she gets the information, she starts, as Jenny starts kissing him.
Yeah, like
a little steamy makeout.
She's got the information. Then she kisses him, and then the camera pulls back, and it's no longer Jenny.
It's true.
It's Drusilla, and Drusilla's just going to town on old Stuart.
She
Anthony
is. See, she's having a great time.
She's like, Drusilla, ma'am.
I get it.
Where's the yes button? The Giles.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. That's it.
And I love it. Spike's like, Drusilla, honey.
Well,
we're done here.
Spike and Angel have a whole conversation, and then they finish, and they look over, and Drusilla's still just making out with a tortured Giles. And
that's right.
What does she say? She's like, "Oh,
sorry,
didn't notice."
She's like, "I was in the moment."
Yes, that was it. I was in the moment.
Oh yeah, because Angel and Spike are like, okay, so we got the information. Angel's like, just kill him.
No, they're talking it out.
Yeah,
and meanwhile, Drew's over here just continuing just to
mac on him. Yeah, Spike, he plays it really smart. He's like, whoa, we can't kill him because what if he's lying? Because that's what they'll lie sometimes. He's been lying to you for the past few hours.
That's what happens.
And then when Giles realizes what happened, he just looks so sad.
He does look
so sad.
And also probably like, well, I got to make out.
Well, I'm gonna go out. At least I got to make out with somebody.
That's it.
We go back to Giles's apartment, and Whistler is just rifling through this man's things.
I am not pleased. That
you took umbrage.
Yes. Who the fuck is this character just poking around someone's apartment, breaking and entering?
He's going through his kitchen.
I mean, he's just like looking at his coffee pot and get out of there.
What does he say? He's like raiding an Englishman's fridge is raiding a nun's.
Yes,
something
he's like insulting, which
Whistler, shut
right
the
or wrong.
Fuck up.
Just who are you and get out of there.
And he's again like he's snooping around, and Buffy's like, I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for him either.
Yeah. And he finally just says what he could have said the first time Buffy was in the apartment.
Yeah. Angel's
blood can open and close the vortex.
Sure. Or Giles could have told everyone this before he got kidnapped.
Thank you. But yeah, so basically we learn, once Acathla is activated, his mouth opens, a big vortex comes out, and it sucks the world into hell, this hell dimension. And she's like, or Angel or Whistler says, yeah, you better run. Like, you better go quick. You got to kill him before it happens or whatever.
Oh, there's plenty of time.
Fuck. And Buffy says, I can deal. I've got nothing to lose. And then Whistler very cryptically says, well, hold on. I wrote it down. Wrong, kid. You've got one more thing. This episode,
I'm telling you.
I love this episode, but the Whistler of it all just kills me.
Put him in a headlock.
Get his little pork pie hat.
Yeah, torture him, Buffy.
Give him to Angelus.
Give him the old woo woo.
PN me. It's just Spike. Yeah.
You're like, Drew, that's not part of the incantation. She's like, I know. Be in me. Oh gosh.
So sun is rising on Crawford Street. Buffy is. Why is she walking? Hot wire a car at this point. Get to where you need to fucking go.
Walking in those pants and those clunky shoes.
Like, you shut your mouth about those shoes.
What?
I like those shoes.
Shoes have seen some pavement.
I love it. And Xander jumps out of the fucking bushes, basically.
Fucking squirrel.
With a rock.
A rock.
And she hands him a steak. And basically, like, she says, okay, we're going to get in. You just get Giles and you guys get out because I'm going to be too busy killing. And Xander says, hey, I spoke to Willow. She told me. And Buffy's like, she told you what?
She told you what? And he's like,
kick his ass.
Should I tell Buffy what she told me, which is she's going to restore Angelus' soul? Kick his ass. Fuck you.
He needs industrial strength therapy.
And you know what? I'm going to do this one too.
I'm sick. I need help.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You took the agency away from Buffy to make a better choice. Not a better choice, but she would have at least known and played it a different way. Willow gave you instructions. Your best friend, who you just confessed bedside love to for, in whatever capacity, told you, resolve. I want this. You are terrible.
He's
this
a
is
piece of
awful.
Shit. Yeah, he's terrible.
And we agreed with him in Becoming Part 1 with like, hey,
Agreed.
This is a solid point.
Angelus surviving is not a good thing in the long run.
Because even if his soul is restored, who's to say something won't happen again and he's going to come back and kill more people?
That's it. There's only one way to stop this, and that's just to kind of like put an end to it.
Yeah.
So he's right in that regard. However, him being the one, again, who takes the agency away from someone else who, as you just pointed out, all the reasons, declaring your love for someone and then turning around and just not even like honoring their wish
awful
is just terrible. And that's where I believe, and I think you believe this too, to know that love is not real.
Correct.
Right.
It's very selfish.
You would not treat the people that you love the way that you treat the people that are in your life.
Yep.
And he does it repeatedly.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. So anyway, terrible decision here by Xander, which sets up Buffy for some pretty intense heartache later here.
And that may have happened regardless, right? But at least she would have known that they were trying and she could have stalled for time more.
She could have, or she just would have been prepared for the fact that she's getting ready to have one more moment. I think right now she's not prepared for any of that. I think she's just prepared to kick ass
and kill him.
Fucking end it.
Yeah.
And all of that changes.
Yeah, it does.
Here in a minute.
So Angelus is starting the ritual, Latin, blah, blah, blah. While he's starting the ritual, Willow is also starting her spell in the hospital bed. You laughed at this when Cordelia's got the sage and she's like, stinky herbs a go.
Love that.
Angel slices his palm, but before he can go touch the sword in Acathla, Buffy decapitates a minion with her sword.
Yeah, Buffy's here.
And says, hello, lover.
Nice.
And Angel's like, you just don't know when to quit. You think you can take on all of us by yourself? She says, no, not by myself. And then Spike, quapa!
With a crowbar.
So once Spike hits Angel, it's chaos. Like the minions start attacking Buffy.
This is huge fighty kick.
Yes.
/ lover's quarrel.
Yes. And Spike is really letting Angel have it. He's working some shit out. He's hitting Angel with...
He's wailing on him. Coming back up.
Drusilla comes out of nowhere. She's like, hey!
I love the sound she makes when she just like launches herself on Spike.
And so she launches herself on Spike. Then Xander and we cut to Xander, who's gotten to Giles, and Giles is like, you're not real. They trick me. They get in my mind. They make me see what I want to see.
Make me see what I want. And he's like, then why would you see me? Giles has a moment. He's like, you're right. Let's go. This is not an illusion.
It was so great.
It was perfect comedy.
Oh my God. And so then in the middle of all this kerfuffle, because Buffy's trying to handle the minions, Drew and Spike are fighting. Angel gets up and touches the sword that's like in Acathla with his blood. And so starts it off. Meanwhile, Willow is still, we're going back and forth between mansion and the hospital. She is chanting in Latin.
Willow has now fully channeled whatever it is that this incantation spell possesses. And she's no longer in control of her words or her body or anything. She's straight in, like she's connected.
And I love how they do that because they show Allison Hannigan looking like tired. She's out of breath. And all of a sudden it's like, whoo.
She's face up.
Yeah.
And she's like fully here.
I love it.
It's great. And this is again, another huge moment in the Buffyverse.
It sure is.
Where we have Willow casting, or doing magic for the first time. Like
Powerful
really
spell. Yeah.
into it. So
Yeah, not just being kind of
cool.
the side where we've seen it throughout the season.
Sure. She's not like on the outskirts of the circle or the Mangus tripod and whatever else that's going on Friday and Tuesday nights. But, she's full in, making this happen.
Exactly.
She's in control of this.
And so we see Buffy and Angel in Vamp Mansion engaging in a sword fight. We get swashbuckling.
This is a swashbuckle sword fight. This is
really
Princess Bride. Like, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare
now
to
you
die.
must die. Or prepare to die.
Come on. What's going on here? I don't need a 5-minute swashbuckling sword fight between these two.
I love Angel's billowy shirt. I love he's ready to go. I have to call out Sarah Michelle Gellar and David Boreanaz because you can tell when it's their doubles and when it's them. And when it's on them, they're doing a good job of moving with the swords.
I'm not taking that away. I'm with you on that.
I like the sword fight.
It just seems a little
dramatique.
Dated.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Because the music's also like very sword fightish.
It is. It is.
Like, what's going to happen?
And we go
of
to,
course, someone gets their sword.
He cuts her at one point.
Away,
Yeah, they end up in the Garden of Evil, which again, point of order. Is there not any sunlight getting into the garden? Because we saw the sun was rising on Crawford Avenue.
Yeah.
And
editing.
Buffy's getting tired. And then we see Spike. He gets Drew in a chokehold.
Yeah.
And she passes out from lack of oxygen. So again, I say, point of order. We learn from Angelus, from Angel in the episode. I can't remember which one it is, but Giles, Willow, and Xander are trapped in the school.
Right.
Is that Marcy out of sight, out of mind?
Maybe.
And with gas, and they're like out. They can't. They're passing out.
Right.
Angel's the only one who can save them because he doesn't need to breathe. As a vampire, does not need to breathe. This should not have worked on Drusilla.
Did they?
No, he should have just knocked her out with his blowpoke.
Whoa.
Okay.
Really give it to her.
Wow. All right. Okay. So Drusilla passes out. He scoops her up. He's about to leave. He looks back in the garden. Buffy's been incapacitated. Like she doesn't have her sword.
Yeah.
Angelus is coming at her. And Spike says, God, he's going to kill her. And there's like a beat. And he basically goes, and he just walks out. Because again,
classic Spike.
He's not good now.
No, he never was.
No, he got Drusilla.
Sure.
Angel, he doesn't fucking care about now. He's out. Goodbye.
He's intrigued by Buffy, but he's not willing to.
Doesn't change his nature.
Follow through with the deal that he made.
No, they did. That's all. He didn't.
Well, he got what he wanted, right?
Right.
Yeah. But he's going to just kind of leave her hanging, which is, a very Spike thing to do.
It is.
Yeah.
And at this point, Acathla is starting to wake up.
Is it?
I hate this demon. So then we get this iconic scene.
So they're fighting in the garden, and Spike and Drew peel out of there.
They've peeled out.
They bust through the garage in some classic black car.
It's a great call.
They've got a new car.
Great car. Blacked out
really
windows.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but yes.
The sun. Yeah, so they don't get burned. So Angel is like, Buffy's on the ground. She's tired. She looks beaten. And Angel's just, he's, loving it.
Reveling in this.
Now that's everything, huh? No weapons, no friends, no hope. Buffy closes her eyes. He says, take all that away and what's left. And he's going to stab her in the face.
Yeah.
And she
catches
the
sword. Blade.
She says, me, and throws it back at him, hits him in the head. And the fight is back on. And I love it. This. I fucking love this.
Not so fast.
Yeah, I love this show so much.
So she kicks his ass all the way back inside.
Yes.
And to where they're standing in front of
Acathla. Yeah.
And
we go back to the hospital briefly. Willow's still chanting. She's still channeling.
Yes.
The orb of Thessala lights up and disappears.
And then we cut back to Buffy and Angel. And in this moment, Angel drops to his knees and you see his eyes flash.
Yeah.
with the same Flash that we saw back in 1898 in the Rumani woods when he had his soul given to him the first time, given back to him the first time. And all of a sudden, you know, Angel's like, wait, what's going on?
He goes, Buffy, what's going on?
What's going on? Like, what happened? I don't remember anything, which point of order.
Point of order.
The Romani gentleman who witnessed the soul transformation in 1898 told him that you will remember everyone that you've killed, all the bad deeds that you've done.
Yeah.
And so maybe it just hasn't come back to him yet.
It is very new. It's just happened.
It's just happened, but I don't know if I'm buying the I don't know where I am routine.
Like I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Sure. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, the fact that she never won an Emmy is a crime.
This is it. Because
her face.
She really turns on the waterworks. And so they're having this moment.
Yeah, Angel.
And they have this embrace. And then they have this like really, really sweet, sad kiss.
So she sees Acathla's mouth is opened. The vortex is swirling.
Yeah. And she knows what she's got to do. She's really struggling. You can tell that she's like, should I not?
Yeah.
But she knows that she has to. And she says, I love you.
Yeah.
And he says, I love you.
Yeah. And he says, what's happening? She says,
close your eyes.
Don't worry about it. Every time she says, close your eyes, I get fucking chills.
Close your eyes. Yeah.
She stabs him with the sword and he reaches out and he's just like,
Yeah, he's kind of like frozen in this position, which.
Whatever. Yeah. And he says, Buffy in the vortex closes and she is just crushed.
Yeah. Well, the only way to close the vortex is with his blood. And the only way to make that happen is to do what she did.
I mean, they couldn't have just cut him on the palm and touched it again.
Yeah. Just like cut his hand off and throw it in.
He's a vampire. He'd grow another hand.
His palm was already cut. All he had to do, I guess, was like reinsert the sword. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it didn't happen that way.
It didn't. And
another big moment, not only
huge
in
moment.
the Buffy universe, but in this episode, this entire
for this
season, for this character. So, man, we've lost some big characters this season.
Yeah. Bye, Angel.
Bye, Angel.
And I do love this arc. I love the them having sex, their romance, then him losing his soul and doing shitty things as Angelus and just devastating Buffy, trauma after trauma. This push and pull within herself if she's going to be able to kill him. Then after Jenny, she's got resolve. He's torturing her. He's torturing her friends. He literally tortured Giles.
They're torturing us.
And then she gets him back and has to kill him to save the world. And it's devastating.
It's not just yes, it is totally devastating, but Xander played a part in this.
Yeah.
He could have warned her, hey, your boy might get his soul back before you have a chance to launch him into the fucking demon hellscape.
Right.
And he didn't. And so I think you really see the surprise in Buffy's eyes when Angel does get his soul back, because I think it's totally unexpected for her.
Yep. And you can tell she's like, is this a trick? Is this real?
Can you imagine?
And then she realizes it's real. Oh, I mean, just the close your eyes. It's so scary.
Then you're not
scary.
Just,
so sad.
Yeah, you're not just launching this fucking vampire who's been terrible, who you've resigned yourself to like never love or care about again. Now you have to unalive basically this person who you do love.
Yeah.
And we're not prepared to do that in that moment. So fuck him.
Fuck Xander.
Xander for not following through with Willow's request.
Yeah. No, it's completely fucked.
I'm sick. I need help.
Mm-hmm.
So
we immediately go
to Buffy's house.
Sad song, Sarah McLachlan's Full of Grace.
Yeah, Buffy walks up to her house.
From her 97 album. So good.
I did not know this was a Sarah McLachlan song until Ryan pointed it out. I love that.
Gosh, immediately. I was like, took me back.
Yeah. And Buffy is outside of her house. We cut to inside where Joyce is in a sick robe. She looks great. Had to get a full night's sleep while her daughter was missing. Sure. Joyce, I guess she hears something. She calls out Buffy's name. She goes to Buffy's room and she sees clothes have kind of been scattered. And there's a note, and she picks up the note and she looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah, it's basically like a Dear John.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Gotta go, Ma.
Yeah. need some time. I've been expelled from school, and
you kicked me out. So
you kicked me out, and I'm the Slayer, and I
just killed my boyfriend.
And
it sucks.
My friend groped me, and Anyway, so it's a big day for her.
It is, and
the cops fired at me.
God,
I lost my other friend Kendra.
Yes, this is trauma with a capital T.
It's huge, yeah.
And we go to Sunnydale High School, the front of the school, where Willow is in a wheelchair.
So now Willow's got the wheelchair.
This is the same day, the next day, like wibbly wobbly on the time. And Giles has a couple fingers in splints.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking a little rough.
He's got a little Harry Potter scar.
He does. And no one has seen Buffy, and like, she'll show. She's got school.
Yeah, Cordelia's like, well, school's in session, so she'll be back.
Why are any of them at school? Why would Willow?
Why is school in session?
Oh yeah, a teenage girl who doesn't even go to the school was murdered in the library.
Yeah, the library's in disarray. The stacks have been shoved all over the place.
Did they take the caution tape down?
Probably not.
Giles looks like he's been in a fight. The librarian has wounds.
The poor custodial staff, they're replacing a window and a door that was shot out by police. What's happening? No, you know what? School's canceled for the next 3 days. We'll holler at you when things are back to normal.
Yeah. Nope. Gotta go to school. And then they're like, okay, well, she'll show. We'll see her later. You know, they're like, maybe Willow's like, maybe Angel's. I'm sorry. Willow says, I felt something happen.
Something passed through me.
Something passed through me. She's very confident Angel's soul was restored.
Mm-hmm.
And Xander's like, maybe it didn't happen in time. Blah, blah, blah. Right. Xander sucks. And they're like, well, either way, she's probably taking some time. She's either with Angel and they want to be alone together, or she's processing what's happened.
Sure.
No one's like, let's go find her.
Let's go check on her.
Let's call Joyce again.
To all the usual spots. Hey, what if she tries to skip town? Xander, you go to the bus station, you go to the airport, you go to the train station, you go to the port.
Forgot there's many ways to leave Sunnydale.
You go underground, you go to the air.
You go to the sewers.
Yeah.
And when we cut like away from the school as they go inside, Buffy's literally standing across the street in plain view.
Oz is a werewolf. You cannot tell me that he doesn't have a great sense of smell, that he can't tell that Buffy's across the street. Hey, hold on a second. Buffy's over there. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, she's wearing her sad overalls.
I love that you call them her sad overalls.
Yep, she's got her sad baggy overalls on.
Got them on.
A duffel slung on her shoulders. And she's on a bus.
With Sarah McLachlan playing. It's fantastic.
She's leaving Sunnydale. That's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a teenager hopping on a bus, going out of town with no sort of adults asking questions whatsoever. Not to mention, she's also wanted by the police.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. She just skipped town. Now she's a fugitive.
The police are at the Sunnydale station trying to dig up Buffy's address.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, we already had it. We talked to her mom.
Oh, damn it.
You're right, George.
Jay, get over there, Dale. All right, Ryan. You know what time it is.
Time to pull up the body chalk.
Okay. What do you got?
I mean, my last one was a 4 or 5. So
you gave Becoming Part 1 a 4 or 5. Yeah.
This is a really good episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It sure is.
I know that I'm taking umbrage and we've got a lot of point of orders, but you know what?
Yeah.
It was what it was.
Sure was.
For its time. And this is great. I love always the Spike, Drusilla, Angel scenario and dynamic. I love that we've got Buffy having to come out to her mom. We've got the Spike and Buffy exchange where they are going to start this whole dynamic that they have together. And at the same time, we're losing Angel, and that entire story arc is coming to a close with her, at least for now.
Yeah.
So a lot happening here. All the Scoobies doing their Scooby thing. We get Jenny one more time. Jenny C. So there's a lot happening here. This is, of all the Buffys that I've seen, I don't know that I've given any a 5, but I think this one might be up there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
5. Also 5 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, all the little nitpicky stuff we talked about in the grand scheme of things doesn't bring the episode down. You know, I mean, Whistler is annoying, but it doesn't kill the episode for me.
that was really my biggest stick in the crawl.
And I love the character development and movements, and it's everybody's changed. It is a big deal now moving forward, and this is something Buffy is now. It's her life before this happened, and now after. And Sarah Michelle Gellar just knocks it out of the park with her acting. We get to see Buffy and Spike in their first little team up.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
this
is one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. I love it.
Again, the stakes are raised.
They sure are. I love talking about this today.
This is the end of season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and of season 2 of Once More, a Rewatch podcast. We did it.
We did it, Joe. I am so proud of us. So speaking of, things are going to look a little different for Once More, a Rewatch podcast. We're not going to get into it too much here. So we're going to take a little bit of a break.
Yes, we're going to pause for a bit.
We're going to have our unhinged episodes, and we might, take a break from that as well, because we're going to do some restructuring. Things are going to look a little different when we come back. We will still be here. Don't worry.
Don't you worry.
Don't you worry. And yeah, just keep, hold on. What was I going to say? Just, what was I going to say? So keep an eye out on our social media. We're still going to be putting out content.
Please.
Fun stuff coming in the interim. But yeah, we're gonna do some restructuring. We're gonna look a little different when we come back.
But if you miss us for a few weeks, be sure to go back and re-listen to all of our episodes that we have on Spotify and YouTube.
Yes, we are gonna cover Buffy season 3. I'm just saying things will look a little different. But on that note, thank you all so much for listening, for watching, for engaging with us. We have put our blood, sweat, and tears into this whole thing. And we really enjoy doing it, and we really enjoy, engaging with you all. So thank you. And thank you for doing this with me, Ryan.
Thank you for doing this with me, Jenny. I love you. And this
love
is
you too.
One of the highlights of my week and my day and this past couple of years. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Well, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like and subscribe on your preferred streaming service, including Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, and don't miss our Unhinged podcast episodes, which come out every Wednesday. We're going to have some spooky ones happening for the month of October. And then you can listen and watch Once More, a Rewatch podcast, and our Unhinged episodes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.
That's right. To keep up with new episode drops of Unhinged and our upcoming season 3, please follow us on social media. We are at Once More Podcast at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads.
And thank you so much for tuning into Once More, a Rewatch podcast. We'll see you in a few weeks for the first episode of Buffy season 3. And I'm Jen Katz.
And I'm Ryan Something. And remember, in the end, you're always by yourself. You're all you got. And that's the point.
Bye.